Halal HaWah. We finna eat today. I know my cons are hungry. I know we ready to devour, man. We're gonna start reacting to stuff a lot more. This is the kind of stuff we react to on our Patreon. Like, I just like to go through my feed and just react to stuff I normally wouldn't. And it's getting too fun. Like, I got my popcorn out, man. Like, we done dropped so much over these 10 years. We deserve a big bowl of popcorn. Just kick back and just react to stuff with a dragonfly perspective. 360 degrees, man. So get on our Patreon, click the link below to hear me react to stuff, man. You know, if you just want to be in the party, Ahab, to my Patreon cons, Guardians on the Wall. So as a special gift, I know my noggins is hungry. I'm gonna feed my noggins this juicy cranberry, man. You know, this juicy strawberry over here. I know you need some fruit, man. We gonna eat a big fruit bowl, man. Vitamin C's, D3s, D1, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? Come and get it, man. Come and get your veggies. And I'm about to pop off with this, because this is funny. This is how they see us. This is a so-called white man and some UK Nagas reacting to how African-American Nagas speak. And the so-called white man is going to say that our speech in America is the most sophisticated English in the world. And I know we just talking, you know, how we talk, right? They say ebonics, you know, hood talk, yada, yada, yada. We don't think about the depth of our language, but if you think about it, it makes sense, because the people with the soul connected with Khalif, whatever language we in our captivity, we're going to end up putting more depth into it, because we have depth, you know what I'm saying? The more depth we have, no matter the language, we can break it up, splice it up, put it in a gumbo, hot sauce, and voila. HaWah, we got some tonal frequencies happening. We got, you know, sophisticated stuff happening. So they're going to call it Black English, which is correct. We heard Ebonics before, but did you know they call it Black English? And yeah, man, this is the Prester John investigation, man. We're gonna pop off starting with this, man. You know what I mean? We in 164. We deserve to react to some stuff. I want you to hear how they hear you. The land of the Prester. How do you speak? Let go. We on a warpath, man. We on a warpath, man. Prices going up on these hijacks. Let go. Wah. 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 Let go. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Just like old times, man. We back here by the fireplace. We're gonna start reacting to stuff, man. Press the 164, man. Woo. Make sure you're in there for that conglomerate pack. This will be on it. 163 and 64. I got you, Aqua Nazir. I got you. Happy Con Day. Woo. Okay. Whew. Let me just catch my breath, man. Let a Naga catch his breath. I want to talk, since we're on a warpath, man, I want to talk the Khatanite. Again, I've been waiting to talk Khatanite. I've been waiting to talk Arab propers and Arab pretenders, and I've been waiting to talk about Arriba. I said Arriba. Just having fun. I got my popcorn out with a dragonfly perspective. I want to connect Catan with Arriba And I want to connect Ariba with Aruba. Yeah. Yeah, man. Venezuela flow. Mount Roraima flow. Orinoco flow. We're going to connect Ariba to Aruba. Yeah, the Carib, right? Yeah. We're going to connect Catan to Ariba, Ariba to Aruba. Connect that with the Orinoco River that Columbus said is flowing so great and mighty, it must be flowing out of terrestrial paradise, man. I mean, we talked about the Arab al-Rashids last time. That King Saul has a son, Jeremiah. Yeremahu, who also has a son, Afghanistan. And that Afghanistan is named after the grandson or the son of Jeremiah, the grandson of King Saul. Afghanistan is a Benjamite, but Saul's father, Kish, was changed by Muhammad to the name Arab al-Rashid. Kish was then given the message from Muhammad to spread Islam among his people. Whose people? Kish's people. Who's Kish? Kish is the father of Saul. Kish is from the tribe of Benjamin. You see how this is getting deeper to where we can have our popcorn now, because ain't nobody else going to connect us with Kish or Kush. We still got to research the Kish-Kush connection. Nobody's going to give us the Kish connection with Benjamin and Muhammad, man. But this $1,000 book, I don't know how much it costs now, but when we looked it up, brand new, this thing was $1,000, man. It's at least hundreds paperback. Why so much? Why they keep pricing this stuff so high? But, love to Robert Grisham, man. We got the PDF, He could have been tried to shut us down like Daniel Lowe tried to do, and Horace Butler, tried to do. Who remembers that, man? We tried to read When Rocks Cry Out. Horace Butler came and put copyright strikes on our channel, started flooding us with all kinds of, spam, profiles. Like, we started getting all kind of comments from all these weird profiles, and all of them were Horace Butler. But then I guess he forgave us, and life goes on, man. Oh, all we were trying to do is read your book, man. Promote your book, man. Dang, man. So Robert Grisham never came at us sideways, so I ain't got no problem with Robert Grisham. all we doing is reading. I mean, come on, man. We ain't reading cover to cover. Like, we just getting the babies out the bathwater. King Saul has a dad named Kish, a son named Jeremiah. All right, this is the one that's cool with Baruch, right, in the Tanakh, yeah. Which would make Jeremiah Jonathan's brother, right? King Saul's son Jonathan, who was really cool with David, which is why Jeremiah's son Afghana, which would be Jonathan's nephew, had a high position in the rule of King Dawid. And he remained at the royal court during the rule of Solomon. This is all happening in America. And Afghanistan is the grandson of King Saul of Benjamin, and Kish, who is Saul's dad, right? With the arrival of Islam on these lands, 7 representatives of the Jews, Hebrews, who lived in Gur, headed by their leader Kish, appealed to the prophet Muhammad. So whether they were trying to save their own lives or, just making a deal, but They appealed to Muhammad, and Muhammad changed their name from Kish to Arab al-Rashid. And we keep saying they're calling everybody Arabs, even the lost tribes of Israel, even the Andrews. The word Saracen was used in the early centuries of the Roman Empire describing the Arab tribe, right? So when they say Saracen in the doomed verses, to conquer all Saracens, they're talking to all Arabis, proper, improper. They're Saracens. In modern times, a Saracen has commonly been applied to Mediterranean pirates. So when we look at the Barbary, remember Babar means swan. Now we're connected with the Swan Knights from King Solomon, Sylvanus to Texas. The Babar means swan, Hebrew word of the day. The pirates of the Carib. Let's talk Arab. When we talk Carib, and an Arab is a rabbi, and a rabbi is a lawgiver, a lawkeeper, a code keeper. So it's really the pirates of the Caribbeans, or the code keepers, the Hebrews, the Israelites, who had all the treasures. They're trying to hijack the treasures because wisdom is the conqueror of fortune. A Saracen's head, again. Pope Nicholas V issued the papal bull Dum Diversas on the 18th of June, 1452. It authorized Alfonso V of Portugal to reduce any Saracen, they say Muslim, in parentheses, that's conjecture, They're talking all Saracens, not just Muslims, Israelites, a Saracen's head, lost tribes of Israel. The Saracen's head refers to the Arab. Which Arab? The Arab proper? Because they are Arab propers. And there are pretending Arab pretenders. And we talk Catan. You thought I forgot? Nah, man, I'm connecting this. When we talk Catan, you're talking Al-Arab, Al-Riba, man. But Catan is Catan. Inscriptions found in Yemen, right? Descent from Jokshan. Now they say son of Abraham through Keturah, half brother Ishmael, but check this out. Katani, equating Catan with Joktan. Yeah, son of Eber. Got him. Catan is Joktan, son of Eber. Yeah. They still had to make them copper color, Catan. And this is in the Jewish Encyclopedia. Joktan, son of Eber. Right? You got Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, Hawala. The name seems to mean the younger or the smaller. It is interpreted as he who humbles himself. As for his humility, Joktan was rewarded by being made the ancestor of 13 tribes. So before we got the 12 tribes of Israel, we got the 13 tribes of Joktan, which became the Yucatan. But now we're talking Mexico, where Meshi is Moshe, Khan, the Mexican. Mexican is the Meshi, Moshe, Khan. The priesthood of Moses, the Mesha, Khan. ancestor of the 13 tribes. This got nothing to do with Muslim, nothing. They tried to make Saracen about the Muslim, but then it says the Arab. Okay. The Arab, Joktan in Arabic literature bears the name Qatan. So Qatan is also the Kara Katai. Katai is also the Cathay, spelled with a C or spelled with a K. Cathay is right here on the maps in America. Cathay next to Prester John. And India, Superior, and Meshe. Qatan is Cathay, or Caithness, as they would say. The Andrews are found in Cathay or Caithness. We're talking Clan Rus, where Russia gets its name, the Russia, which connects us back to the Russian icons. Why are they so expensive, man? 5,000, 2,000, 3,000. Who's gonna pay for these, right? So the hijack pays to get our copper color image in their house, man. The hijack's paying 5,000, 10,000, 18, 20,000. Some cost 80,000, 100,000. Like Mary, man. Remember Mary, man? Miss Mary Mack, man. Miss Mary Mack, all dressed in black. Y'all remember that? HaWah Mock, Miss Mary Mock, man. The Mock is Makir, the Mock is the sign. This is Miriam and Joshua. But let's get back to it. This probably costs 100 racks. It's right there on the wall, man. It's right there on their walls, man. Look at this, man. Miss Mary Mack, all dressed in black. Yeah, man, we on the warpath for Condot Week, man. The Russian is the Rus is the truth, the Rus is you, the Rus is the Saracen. Copper color Naga is the Arab. The Saracen is who they are against and calls us enemies of their anointed or their Christ, because we rock with the Most High over everything. And David is our one shepherd forever, not their JC. So that would make these non-Christ lands. That would make us enemies of their Christ. So they think they can take our kingdoms, dukedoms, principalities, dominions, possessions, movable, immovable goods, whatsoever, reduce us to perpetual slavery. You said, what kingdom, boss? I said, man, Montezuma's kingdom, man. Now they take all our stuff, man. They could take the kingdom. Damn. From the Arab tribe. But Kata, you know, some Arab traditions believe that the Katanites are the original Arabs. But the original Arabs This is but the legendary form of the tradition that Qatan was the progenitor of the southern Arabs or the Arab propers. So the sons directly connected with Eber, Hebrew, are the proper Arabs, and the ones that's pretending are the ones that are not the Arabi, such as Ishmael that keeps on migrating. Because Ishmael keeps migrating, boss. Right during the Chickamauga, Cherokee, Seminole Creek Wars, you coming over here then? Why would you come now, Ishmael? When there's bloodshed on our own brothers? Why would you come now? When Tecumseh is fighting to take the last stand for the Israelites, why are you showing up now? You don't show up to a bloodbath unless you promise land, unless you got some land. I don't know, Ishmael. It seems like the places you going, Indiana, Illinois, shout out to my Chicago niggas, because this is all a setup. It seems like the places you going are part of a deal. It seems like you making a deal, Ishmael, for real. Fort Wayne Treaty, Ishmael. Yeah, man. The Treaty of Mother Sucking Fort Wayne, man. It seems like the only reason you migrating in the 1700s, 1800s is that you got an 1809 treaty to obtain 30 million acres of land, of Native American land for the settlers of Illinois and Indiana. Got 'em. I said, got 'em. 1785 to 1905, here you come, promised 30 million acres of land, Ishmael, where you could set up Muhammad and Morocco, not as the Arab propers, but as the pretending Arabs. Right on the hard bone, you set up Mecca. You set up some type of holy mountain of harmonics and do a 350-mile triangular Hajj around it, pilgrimage around it, in Illinois, in Indiana, in 1785. It seems like you're benefiting from the treaties, Ishmael. It seems like the Ishmaelites are part of those who have consulted together. So the name of Israel may be no more remembered. It seems like y'all niggas want to cut us off from being a nation, nigga. Damn it. Losing my shit. Let me calm down, man. Woo. I'm getting my Dragonfly Jones on, man. I know I've been talking about this for years, but man, it hits different, man. You know, the more you see clear, damn. Where they can't wiggle out no more, you know what I'm saying? Like, when they can't wiggle out of this no more, that y'all came right here to the land of Prester, the land of India Superior, the land of Cathay. You niggas, man. Right on top of Tippecanoe, where Tecumseh's brother, the prophet, was ambushed, where X marks the spot. You set up a 350-mile triangular harmonic mountain to your hijack power, hijacking Israel with the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, where the Moors made a treaty with the Corporation of the United States of America against Dragon Canoe, against the Comsay, against the Cherokee, and the Cherokee are the Karaka. The Chera is the Kara, Cher, is Kar, Kara, Katai. The Katai is the Katan. The Katan is the Cathay. Where the Nagas is found in captives. This is their battle decree. This is their battle plan, man. And we on a warpath, boss. I'm alright, man. I'm alright. I'm gonna get it together. I'm alright, man. What kingdoms, man? What kingdoms? Mama's kingdoms, man. Daddy's kingdoms. Mama's kingdoms. Prester's kingdoms. In Asia Major. Because there ain't no North America. It's Cathay. Kara Katai. Kara means black and they're Turkic. But Kara means melanated. Katai is promised land, man. Or pure land. So it's the melanated pure land of Asia Major. The real Paris. Paris is right here. Paris is Mexico. Before they duplicated it over there. I'm alright, man. We do it for Sarah Cali, man. We do it for Miriam. We do it for Joshua. We do it for Montezuma, man. Because we don't want to be in perpetual slavery no more. Not the Saracen. Nah, man. Not the Saracen, you know. Not the Arab. So we understand that Joktan or Katan in Arabic literature bears the name Katan. Joktan is described as the ancestor of several South Arab, but we're talking Arab proper, not pretender. Arab proper is Israel. This is what we're saying. The real Arabi are Israel. Eber, you know what I mean? Katan. Before they made it an Islam thing through the takeover, just like Kish did when he made a deal with the Prophet Muhammad, was given a new name, Arab al-Rashid, but he wasn't pushing the law no more. He was pushing the pretender law. But still the tribe of Arab al-Rashid are Benjamin, but they're conversos to Islam. But we still talking the Arab tribe. We're still talking Yemen. Because in accordance with this statement, Arab genealogists hold Katan to be the first king of Yemen. Which is why the term Katan is mentioned in multiple ancient South Arabian inscripts found in Yemen. Yemen is an Hebrew foundation. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with Islam or Muhammad. Yet Yemen is still Israelite. Some Arab traditions believe that Katans are the original Arabs. And again, if you go, let's go Yandex, man. I don't trust Google no more. I don't trust no Google, man. If I go Kara Katai or Kara Katai Prester, I mean, have fun. Have fun, man. You know we gonna pop up. That's Prester John 147. Karakatai. Yeah. Or Western Liao dynasty ruled in Central Asia, period that preceded the rise of Genghis Khan. Yep. Founded by Khitan refugees. Let's get it bigger. So it immediately takes us to Genghis Khan. We know the war with Prester John. And Genghis Khan, go get, this is 164. Go catch up, go surf the wave, right? So founded by Khitan. Khitan, my naga, is Cathay. Khitan. Khitan is Khitan. Alright. Spelled with a Q, spelled with a K, it's still Khitan. Karate, they have katas. The katas are the same as the katan. The kata is the same as the karakatai. Karakatai, that's when you're going to connect it to Prester John, King David, and all that, who's fighting against Genghis Khan. This is how you start to, sefer through the Mongolian history. They're not all Mongols, right? Mongol means greats, just like Moor means great. So who's the real Moor? Who's the real Mongol? Who's the real great? The Karakatai, they're the real great connected with Cathay. When they just talk about the Mongols in general, they typically are connected with the Genghis Khan families, that were at war with the real greats, the real Mongols, the real Khitan, the real Presters, priest king. Khitan refugees who escaped from North China when the Gurchan Jin dynasty vanquished their Khitan Liao dynasty. They soon carved out for themselves a multicultural empire in Central Asia that combined Chinese, nomadic, and Muslim elements. Bang. Yeah, here's the conversos, right? So vanquishing the Khanids and the Seljuks and making the Khwarizm Shahs. The Shahs means priest as well. The Gao Khan, ogres, and various Mongolian tribes, their vassals. At its height, the Karakatai Empire stretched from Oxus to the Altai Mountains. Their biggest victory in 1141 against the Seljuks even became the basis for the legend of Prester John. Come on, man, we on the warpath, man. It's Prester 164. Prester is everywhere. He's in the Mongol history. He's in the Christian history. We got that King Charles is looking for him, man, trying to connect himself to him, right? Prester John plays a great role in all this Christian stuff. They're trying to make him an ally against the Muslim foe. Yeah. They really are trying to team up. The Christian powers and the Muslim powers are against King David. They're working together to overthrow the Promised Land, which is what the Treaty of Peace and Friendship is all about. The Treaty of Peace and Friendship is your body bag proof that the Christians and Muslims, the empires, are working together. They made a deal with the corporation against the Kumse, the Cherokee. The Cherokee is the Karaka. We're talking Kar, not Chera. Oh, yeah. By entering the calculations of both Henry the Navigator and Columbus, he helped to inspire the great geographical discoveries. Still later, amid conditions that had ceased to be medieval, he was a factor, I said a factor, in the hopes and plans of Emperor Charles V. He's a factor for Charles, black-ass Charles. He's a factor for the Christians. Yeah. He's a factor in the Mongols, in the Genghis Khan war. But you're not asking about him. You're not asking about him. He's an established part of the European pattern of thought. But you're not even asking about who is Prester John. I think he's on the warpath, boss. I don't know about y'all. I think he's on the warpath. Emperado de los Abyssinios is on a warpath. We on a warpath. Practicing religious tolerance and mostly indirect rule, leaving local rulers largely intact, apart from their capital, Balasagu, and using their Chinese and nomadic cultural capital, the Sinicized Buddhist nomads ruled over their heterogeneous, but mostly Muslim, sedentary population in rare harmony. The aging dynasty, however, could not survive the repercussions of Genghis Khan's rise. Yeah, so Genghis Khan, anybody Genghis Khan is pushing up on most likely is part of the Tecumseh alliance, man. The real, Hebrew Israelite priesthood. You know what I'm saying? Genghis Khan wanted the Khan. He stole the Khan. He's not a real Khan. He's a pretender. He helped form these Arab pretenders to take the title of the A Rabbi. But the rabbi is a lawgiver, and ain't no law higher than the Creator's code. So if you ain't rocking and pushing the Creator's code, you're not a real A rabbi. You're not a Arab proper. You are a what they call it. This is but the legend of the tradition that Catan was the progenitor of the Southern Arabs or the Arab proper. While these Ishmaelites and all they doing is migrate. Psalms 83, right? The Ishmaelite Arabs were originally of non-Arab stock. I didn't say this. This is in the Jewish Encyclopedia. This is in the Jewish Encyclopedia, but pretending they are not original Arabs, man. So that they're not real Saracens, they're not real Arabs. That means that the Doomed Verses wasn't really against them. That means that they were, really on the other side of the Doomed Verses. They were the ones invading, right? They're the ones invading, just like Ishmael is not migrating, but invading Tecumseh, invading Dragon Canoe, invading the Shikwa Cherokee. He's invading Israel. Ishmael is invading. Ishmael wants to cut us off from being a nation and take counsel against the treasure ones and hold crafty converse against HaWah's people because they hate us and they have lifted up their head. They hate the Creator. The Creator's enemies are our enemies, and that's why we're on a warpath, man. We talking Ishmael, we talking Moab in there. Yeah. They cut us off from being a nation. Look at it, man. Look at it, man. Yeah. This is the real European. Iconoclast. You know what? These Spaniards were all dark. Look at they tried to lighten up their faces. Iconoclasm. The breaking of images. They broke the images. Yeah, they that hate us have lifted up their head. Roman Emperor Charles V. Yeah, they that hate us have lifted up their head. Roman Emperor Charles V with your tidy whities. Too tight, Mike. It's too tight, Mike. It's too tight, Mike. I'm going to get to the reaction video. I'm just popping off with this Catan. I want to get to these. Okay, mites. We're going to get to the UK now. Shout out to my UK now. But this video is going to show that a lot of them, because their ancestor might be, straight from different countries in Africa that migrated to the UK. they might not be like us. They might be looking down on us, some of them. And some of my UK Nagas are real American Nagas, you know what I'm saying? So there's tribal war going on everywhere. But they that hate us have lifted up their heads, man. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. They have lifted up their heads. They hold crafty converse against your people and take counsel against your treasured ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that Israel may be remembered no more. So now Ishmael is migrating. Ishmael is invading because they are part of the treaties. They're getting 30 milli. And you want to watch Chicago is the way it is, and these areas are the way they are, and this energy they put on us with this freaking triangular harmonics. You don't think this affects us? You think this is positive? You think it's positive? When you see that Kish made a backdoor deal with Muhammad and started spreading the hijack amongst Benjamin and the Israelites, you don't think this affects things? And this author's talking about the 17th century, that is after the breakup of the empire and the birth of Islam, after the 17th century. So if Islam is born after the 17th century, Managi, and I'm showing you that Ishmael is migrating in the 1700s, come on, man. This is a recent push, a new religion, you know what I'm saying? They pushing it, and it shows you that all these events are much closer and are not a part of your ancient history or past. Objects in the mirror might be closer than what they appear. Say it with me, Khan. Objects in mirror might be closer than what they appear, man. This might not be that long ago. This doomed diverses might have more effect than you think to invade, search out, capture, vanquish, subdue all Saracen. Arabs. So this Khatan is the king of Yemen, which is, he's just the son of Eber, man. He's just the son of Eber. He ain't no Muslim, no Islam, nothing. He's the son of Eber. He's following the code. So the first Nagas speaking Arabic are Hebrews, which is why Columbus brought a Hebrew interpreter and an Arabic interpreter, because both languages connect to Khatan or Yucatan or Mexico. Yeah, on the maps. Mexico, next to Prester John. Grand Canyon is the Grand Conjunction. Grand Conjunction, man. We're going to get into some more definitions, man. I'm going to jump back in here with this great document and just look at these names, man. It's just, I like how some of this connects, man. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. But I dropped it for you last time in 163. We're going to get back in here as well, man. I'm just talking Khatan, man. We talking Aruba, we talking Khatan. So, when we talk Khatan or Khatani, Joktan, I wonder if they have that name here, Joktan. Now, Jochebed is supposed to be the name of Moses' mother, But look how they break it down from Haya, which we know is originally HaWah, right? Because when we go to the etymologies, we're going to talk about these whites, man. We go to etymologies, you put Yahweh, you know. Yahweh, based on the assumption that the tetragrammaton is the imperfective of the Hebrew verb ha. Say it with me. Wah. I didn't make this up. This is etymology, man. We just have to go further. You don't stop at Haya because HaWah is the earlier form of Haya. So you got to get to the earlier form, which is your HaWah, like Hawaii. It's still right there in the place names. It's still around us. Josh HaWah, 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 Ki HaWah, HaWah. HaWah is everywhere. HaWah is everywhere when your eyes are clear. Now, so if they say it's from Haya, they mean the earlier form, HaWah, which is the existing, the one that is. I am that I am. HaWah, right? Okay. And they reversed everything, but you go backwards with the Yahweh, and it's HaWah. So reverse the curse to break the spell, get back to the earlier form, HaWah. So Moses' mother, ShaBat, connects with the Hava. So we saying it all wrong. They connected it with the Kabab, glorified ShaBat from HaWah. Like, they're going back to the H1961. Strong's Concordance, HaWah, or the earlier form, right? Haya or the earlier form, HaWah. Wah. So basically, Moses' mother is named after the Creator, just like Eve is Kawah, the breath, the existing, which came first. Eve or the existence. Moses' mother, the Anna, right? Which means what? Grace. We're talking about glorified. So Anna, Hannah, ShaBat, all this connects with the glorified or the grace of HaWah, the self-existent, eternal, which they say Jehovah, right? But now we ain't talking no Jehovah here. We ain't talking no Jehovah. It comes from HaWah, the earlier form. HaWah is the earlier form, self-existent, eternal. Compared to Hava, right? They changed the V's, the W's to V's, right? And then they went to Hava or Heya, right? But we mean the one that exists to exist, the existing. The one that is the existing, man. Right in your face. I'm not making that. This ain't no studio tricks, man. This is right in the face, man. Reading, etymology, definitions, putting our story back together. Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall. We got to put Humpty Dumpty back together, man, and get the babies out the bathwater, because we on a warpath, man. To exist, to be, to come to pass, right? All this is Strong's Concordance definition of H1961. All right. Glorify, yeah. So I just think that's dope. We talking jock time. Yeah, even John, right? John's gonna go right back to that same Hava, Hova, or Hawa. Hey, right? Jehovah, right? And then you could put the H and the Canaan on it. Kana, Hana. I said choose your Canaan, because Canaan is also Canaan. Or Ania. So John, who is Prester John? Yohanan. We say John means king, but really John connects back to the name of the Creator personally, man. So it's a powerful name, this John. Yokshan. Now we're going to the Arabian patriarch, right? Yeah. That's what they got on them. So that's all they're going to write about him right here. Yokshus Insidious Jokshan, Arabian patriarch. That's it. All right. Joktan, son of Eber. Khatan, Joktan, first king of Yemen. His son and successor Yarub is the first person who even spoke Arabic, man. So we ain't talking Muslim, we ain't talking Islam. We talking Eber. And Eber's grandson Yarub is the first person to speak Arabic, because we're talking Arab propers, not pretenders. This is but the legendary form of the tradition that Khatan was the progenitor of the southern Arabs, or Arab proper, while the Ishmaelite Arabs were originally of non-Arab stock, but pretending to be Arabs. They adopted Arab customs, Hebrew customs, proper customs, and intermarried with proper Hebrews, Arabis, genuine Arabs. They took our queens, our sisters, our daughters, like Genghis Khan did with Prester John, and married into our families to steal the land and call themselves royals or genuine Arabs. Before they were called Mustarabs, man. I can't make this up. And another son of Khatan was called Gerhum. So you keep hearing this Gerhum flow. I feel like they mention it around, yeah, or da. They got the Gurchin. When you go into the Mongol flow, you're gonna hear this word Gerhum. You know what I mean? I don't think it's on this link, but just keep that Gerhum in mind, because it might randomly pop up on it. We'll find it later, but alright. Gerhum emanated or immigrated to northwest Arabia and founded the kingdom Hijaz. This tradition was probably invented at a later date in order to establish a close relationship between the northern and southern tribes. Right? Sounds like Israelites because we're talking Arabs, and it sounds like we're talking Israel when we talk northern and southern tribes. We're just talking to Saracen. You know? They took all our stuff for their use and profit. They took the islands, lands, harbors, seas, and gave it to their successors. The Saracen. So they invented this tradition, they're saying, at a later date in order to establish a close relationship between the northern and southern Arab. Because it is added that Ishmael married a woman of the tribe of Gerhum. See? So Ishmael himself took a genuine Arab so that he doesn't have to be a pretender no more. And I think the tradition they're talking about is specifically the hijacking of the females, man, of the sisters, you know what I'm saying? Sisters like Sarah. The daughter of Joshua, that they're venerating as Kali or Khalifa. This is Queen Khalifa, daughter of Joshua, granddaughter of Miriam, great-granddaughter of Lady Hannah. who connects to Prester John. And again, these are titles, so I'm not always talking about this exact person. I'm saying they're carrying the same titles, the same Hannah titles, the same ShaBat titles, Khalifa titles, Prester titles, even David, right? Titles, because his son is a David. And we're still talking Babylon. And we're talking about Georgia, America, Georgia, not Russia. Russia, Georgia, but we can't talk Russia, Georgia, because the Rus are the truth. We could talk Russia, Georgia, and connect it, because it's all connected, right? This is connecting us to the land of Russia right here, this Strait of Antioch, to the kingdom of Prester John. So, of course, the Russia is connected with Prester John. It's all connected. So, do you see clearly? So Ishmael married a real, genuine Arab, rabbi, law-giving, code-keeping, bloodline Israelite of the tribe of Gerhum. Gerhum or Jerhum. Son of Catan. So Catan, son of Eber. Gerhum or Jerhum is the grandson of Eber. And this tribe Ishmael took a woman out of and made himself a member of it. So he don't gotta be no muster rab. He can adopt our customs, intermarry our queens, and no longer be a pretender, no longer be of non-Arab stock. He can be Arab proper, just like you by birth. Just like you. I'm just talking guitar, jock time. Yarub, right? Father of Saba, right? Saba is another ShaBat title too, so let's go. Alright, so before I get to this reaction drop, you know what I'm saying? We just talking Catan, and I just saw this name. Ariba? And I started thinking about Aruba, you know what I mean? Like, if we're talking Mexico, we're talking the land of Prester John, and Mexico, right? And Yucatan, Joktan, of course, Aruba, right? Would seem to fit as a possible, name after this Joktan, Catan. If the Yucatan's named after Joktan, surely Ariba or Aruba, connecting with Venezuela, connecting with Mount Roraima, right? All seems to connect. So let's belly flop in Prester 91. I love belly flopping in the Presters. Let's go, man. Arab proper verse, Arab pretenders. Mongolia. Okay, so again, Kara is spelled with a Q. Kara is spelled with a K, right? Katai, same thing, spelled with a K. Katai, Katan, also. K or Q, Catan, Kara, all this. Q's and K's interchangeable. Pay attention, man. This is deep. So spelled with a Q, Catan, Katani. Early Islamic historians identify Catan with Joktan, son of Eber, in the Hebrew Bible. Yeah. We'll keep going, but you see how deep this actually gets. I mean, remember, Afghan is just the son of Jeremiah. I mean, we're talking proper Arabs now, right? So, okay. Joktan, Katan, Katai, Cathay. We got Sheba and Ophir, coming out of the lineage of Joktan. Sheba and Ophir, but they also have a Sheba and an Ophir coming out of Cush, right? And Havala. We got to find the one that also puts the Ophir in there. Let's keep going. Who's Jokshan? Jokshan, according to the Bible, he was a son of Abraham and his wife or concubine Keturah, whom he wed after the death of Sarai. Jokshan had 5 brothers, Zimran, Medin, Ishbak, and Shua, as well as 2 half-brothers, Ishmael and Isaac. He was Keturah's 2nd son and Abraham's 4th. Josephus records that Abraham contrived to settle them in colonies, and they took possession of the Troglodytes and the country of Arabia Felix, as far as it reaches the Red Sea. Jokshan became the father of Sheba and Dedan. Here we go. He's also the father of Sheba. And Sheba's also coming out of Joktan. Dedan had 3 sons named Ashorim, Letushim, and Luimim. In the history of the prophets and kings, Tabari says that the wife of the North Arabian ancestor Adnan, Madad Laham, was a descendant of Jokshan or Yokshan, So by the time you get to Saba or Sheba, you know what I'm saying, coming out of Eber, then we get to King David and Bathsheba and these titles of Sheba. This is where it begins at. Probably even before this. So Sheba is not coming out of, Ethiopia over there in Africa. Sheba's coming right out the loins, man, of Eber or Kavera, right? Ibera, Kibera, Kavera right here in America. Looks to me like another phantom and another duplication. And how does this phantom fit in to the pie, to the whole pie? This is from the digicole.library.wic@c.edu. The prosperity of Shems, if I get it bigger. I'm having a good time in Prester 91, digging on the Drizna. Prosperity of Shem, supposed to be the earliest inhabitants of America. Shem, the 2nd son of Noah, had 5 sons who inhabited the land that began at the Euphrates and reached to the Indian Ocean, and their names were Elan, Ashur, Arphaxad, Lud, and Arain. Salah, the son of Arphaxad, was the father of Eber. Okay. So that means that his uncle, Eber's uncle, is Ashur. Just keep that in mind for research purposes. All right. So we're going to talk Ashur, but, Ashur is the uncle of Joktan. Salah, the son of Arphaxad, was the father of Eber. Okay. So Arphaxad has a son, Salah. Okay. So Shem's son, Ashur, right? His brother Arphaxad has Salah, who has Eber. Okay, got it. Whose eldest son was called Joktan. This Joktan was the father of 13 sons who were heads of as many nations. So they said Arabic nations, right? But then you realize we're talking Arab proper. We're still talking Israelites, right? Or, those coming right out of this lineage connected with, Shem, the Baruch of HaWah, the tribes of HaWah. With regard to the countries which they possess, very little can be said with any certainty. Okay, so, but most of the ancients were of opinion that the East Indies, China, Japan must have been peopled by the descendants of Shem through. I love what we do around here, Drop Nation. Just pull out receipts on receipts on receipts. I didn't make this receipt up. I didn't make this map up. This is a map of America and the way to China as men believed it to be, which an old pilot showed King Henry the Seventh in the year 1500. Ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah. The Caribs, they tried to make them cannibals, but the Caribs are the Arabs. They turned the real Arabs to pirates. They turned the real Arabs to cannibals on their maps. But within Florida, where there is much gold, the Chinese sail upon this sea. This is the real Ethiopia. Florida, Barbados, this is the real Ethiopia. And yes, this is a fire dragon, because we on a warpath. This is Ptolemy's India. This is Cathay or Katai, Pure Land. And this is the Great Khan of China. Cathay. Asia, not North America. That's some made up stuff. Prester John, Grand Khan. Emperor de los Abyssinios. The term Abyssinios predates Ethiopia. Mixed multitude of Moses. Cathay. Japan is in between Florida and the mainland of North America, but they took it off the maps today. That's the old Japan that connects with the cities of gold. This is the old China. Is India superior? That's why they call it India superior. That's why they were searching for Prester John. Who was searching? Hey, even Charles V had plans and hopes to factor in. This is all about the Crusades, and this was an established part of the European pattern of thought. Yeah. Who, oh who, is Prester John? Because you've gone a long time without a king, man. This is where Japan started. This is where China started. They made a covenant. While you were asleep, going after your idolatry, playing the harlot. Oh, but you ain't gonna play the harlot no more. You ain't gonna be the hoe no more. No, you ain't gonna be no other man's wife. We got a covenant, man. For the children of Israel shall sit solitary many days without a king. Many days without a king. I say, King David, you don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know what I'm talking about. The red ruddy Khan that they're hiding, charging a fortune for you to own. You've gone many days without a king, without a prince, without sacrifice, without pillar. They stole the ephod. Did they steal it, or was it hidden by the angels? Right, we got that last time. Go get 163. In the book of Baruch, it says the angels took the ephod. The angels took the ephod. They tried to steal it. Afterwards shall the children of Israel return to the Creator directly. No JC, now you remember no power before your power. Now you are a righteous flock that deserves a righteous shepherd. Because you've gone many days without it. Remember, they took your kingdoms, dukedoms, right? They took everything, your kingdom. They took your titles. They took your names. They made us act like we pretenders when we the propers and they're the pretenders. They flipped the script acting like, oh, we're trying to be them now. Now they say, you guys are culture vultures. How can you be the real Arab? How can you be the real Israelites? How can you be the real Hebrews? How can you be the real Americans? How could you be the real copper color races found here, boss? And how did they take our titles and apply them to their descendants the same way they took everything and applied it to their successors? What did they apply? Your kingdoms, dukedoms, principalities, counties, dominions, possessions, and all your goods, and converted them to their use and profit for their successors, for their descendants. Don't take our titles back, copper color races. Well, we are copper color races. You know. I mean, that much is true. That much is true. We are the Saracens. That much is true. Who is Sarah Cali Khalifa? And who's Prester John, you know? Oh, that's a scary look right there. You don't want to see that look out of Unc, man. You don't want to see Unc looking like this, man. We talking about the real Arab propers, man. We gone a long time without a king, man, but we're gonna return, seek HaWah, get back with our shepherd Dawood. Then we'll be humble and trembling and get that goodness in the end of days again. But we just gone a long time without it.
Joktan, his great-great-grandson, as the North and South American Indians are reasonably believed to be of different origin. Inasmuch as the natives of the South were found to be not only more civilized than the rude tribes of the North when first discovered by the Europeans, but their personal appearance, religion, language exhibited so striking a diversity which should at once authorize this belief. Many have supposed that Joktan or Yucatan, a province of Mexico, derives its name from Joktan.
Say it with me, cuz. Body bag for the illusion. This is Preston 91. We had to go back and get it, and we on 164. This is 70 Prester Johns ago, where we are kicking factuals, man. Factuals, I say. Ooh, this is why I'm excited about getting 164 Prester John full videos on one flash drive called the Conglomerate Pack. Look out for us, man. Hit me up, 432thedrop@gmail.com for for all the Presters on one pack, plus all these links, the books, all the investigation, man, on one flash drive. It's taken over a year. Wow, it's been a multitude of things, man, that the hijack's been putting in our way. Spiritual levels, physical levels, man, we are here, and I'm grateful. This is the biggest, most important project I've ever personally been involved in, is getting all this information on one flash drive. And to water for your patience again, and look out for it, man. I'm gonna fall back after this, enjoy the drop clips. I'm gonna put all my energy, you know what I'm saying, this whole month in getting all this done and back to y'all and getting all these products out. So, bear with me, cuz it's just me, and I got y'all, and I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all. Cause that's the body bag that the Yucatan is from Joktan. That's what we came here for. That the Kanta night, the original Arab proper, connects with the Ariba, but let's connect the Ariba with Aruba. The Kata, the Kata, is the Kara Kata. Based on the legend of Prester John. The Kara Kata is the Cathay or Black Cathay or Melanated Pure Land. The Khitan is the Kata, is the Cathay, is the proper Arab.
Among these areas, Montana's is the foremost, and he thinks that Joktan himself either passed into America or that this continent was peopled by his prosperity, Managa, and this is what we popping off with.
America is peopled by the seed of Eber, or the Iberu, or the Quavera, because the Eber is the Heber, and the Heber is the Quavera, huh? I'm gonna keep that. Got some looking to do. If you go back in the Yandex flow, just for fun, and you just put in Eber, Heber, then put in like Heber, follow me now. Quivera, right? New Mexico, all that, Just have fun, man. Have fun. Have fun, man. Have fun. Shout out to G Matlock. Have fun, man. Let's get it bigger, man. Known by the family name the Kiberi is the Eber or Heber. Heber is the Keber. Is the Kipri, is the Kabar. Kabar, J.K. Kabar. Oh, I was hoping it had some Kabar drop. They could have it with like a CH, Kabar. They probably have Hebrew, Habar. I'm surfing the wave in real time, man. Habor. From Kabar. Yeah. To join, compact, couple together, fellowship. Habor is Ebor, is Kabar. Is Kabar. Is Capernaum in the Bible, right? Kabar, Kabor. Quebec is also Kabar. Is also Eber. Keber, Eber is Quivera. Kubora is Cuba, is Quivera. Is the Kiberi, is the Kyber or Cyber, right? Now they say Cyber, but it's really Kyber, like the Kyber crystals and the Jedi lifesavers, right? The copper is the Kyber, is the copper. Copper is Kyber, copper is Eber, copper is Hebrew. Copper color race is found here is the Kabar, Ebar. Back to Afghanistan, which we know is a Benjamite, right? Son of Jeremiah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's a book called Kyber, Keber, Past the Quivera, Kiber, right? So when India ruled the world, we're talking India superior, and we talk Quivera, 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 Quivera. Oh, come on, boss. It's okay, it's okay. It's just me. It's just me. Sometimes I'm human, sometimes I'm not, man. I don't know. Let's go. Let's just go Quivera map. And yeah. Ping pow, ping pow. Quivera region, right? Quivera. This is still so-called North America. Anion and Quivera. Anion. Quivera. Right here, right? It's the same Quivera. It's the same Kibera. It's the same Eber, my naga. But this is how you gotta find it. They always, shout out to Horace Butler, 1-letter rule, 2 or 3-letter rule sometimes. Shalak, but we still talking in Grand Tartar, the Tartary. The anion is the Anna, Hannah, same thing. And the Quivera is the Keber, Kibera, or Ebera. Ragna means kingdom. So we're talking about these are kingdoms, the same kingdoms in the Duna verses that they stole and gave to their successors, along with your islands and lands and harbors and seas. Let's talk islands again when we talk Keber, Quivera. You look in the 1500s and it's like body bags all over the place. Again, Quivera. I'm going to leave these so you can go on your search and connect the Eber with the Quivera. Kibera is Eber, Heber. Quivera is Keber, is Eber. Or the Kaberi, or the Kaiberi, same as the Eberi or Eberu. Kyber, Cyber, Kaberi, Kubera. They're connected with the Hindu god of wealth, back to the Hindu Kali, Khalifa, region of the north, that is in simple language, the Khyber, its wealth, his region is wealthy, right? And abounds in rubies, gold, same thing, Americas, India superior, rivers of gold, right? Vicinity, it was likewise the ruling northern power in those days. There is yet another important view in which the Kaberi are to be considered. They are the Kibru or the Hebrews. So when you see Quivera on the maps, you talking about the Hebrews, man. And it's listed right on the maps. The Anion is also the Anon, the Canaan, the Hanan, Lady Hannah flow. The Hebrews. They're going to connect it with Judah. The Hebrews, tribe of Judah is in fact the Yadawa. The people of God were literally taken out from amongst the other tribes. Yes, they found you here, Copper Colored Nagas, and took you out and put you on boats and sent you to West Africa, sent you to Portugal, sent you to Spain. But they found you here. Con. The people of HaWah were literally taken out, found here from amongst the other tribes to be specially sanctified for the moral and religious generation of mankind. Hyperboreans is Kyberboreans are the same Hebrews, Habor. And the Afghans are still Benjamin. The Afghans have claimed descent from the Jews. Woo! Say it with me, Khan. Body bag for the... How many body bags is this, man? We got it separately that the Afghans, right? That the Afghana is the son of Jeremiah, which is Benjamin. Jonathan, brother. Separate substantiating document, the Afghans are from the Hebrews, right? The Ayude, the Hebrews, Kybrews, descended from the Yadus in that very land of Yadus or Afghans. Dan and Gad, we're talking Benjamin, still remain of feeble remnants of the Jewish antiquity. Woo! Let's get spacey. Let's get outer spacey. I like it. Cyber is Kyber. Are the Hebrews of Quavera. Yeah. Even the David Rumsey map has the Quavera, right? You know what I'm saying? Flat Earth map. You know, man. I'll jump in there. You know what I want. You know what I want. You know what we need. Yeah. Ain't no ice. Ain't no ice. Say it with me. Ain't no ice. You see any ice on Antarctica surrounding us? All right. We'll get back in the Flat Drop 101. North America, right? Let's go to Cali. First of all, straight to Antioch, right? This area, let's flip it. Let's flip it. Okay, we flipped it. All right, North America, South America, right? But this is really Asia Major. And this area that's connecting North America to Asia is the Strait of Antioch, which they now call the Bering Strait. This region here, which connects the land called Prester John to the Russia, right? But it's both Asias connected. Here it's called the Strait of Aniano or Anion, right? Just like this, connecting the Asias. Just like this, Anion, Quavera, Anion. Multiple maps. This is 1597. Limes Occidentales, Quavera et Anion. Yeah, Anion, Strait of Aniano. And across from that is Arsareth, where there is the tribes of Israel. Remember Edris, they had to go to another land to keep the code. They crossed the Strait of Anion to get there. That unicorn always represents this magical land of Prester John, Alicorno. Mangi Tartari, right? This is all Russia. And right here is Quavera. Say it with me, car. Body bag. Body bag for the illusion. Yeah. So that Quavera. The Grand Quavera, like the Grand Canyon, Grand Con John. Who is Prester John, the Quavera? It's all right here. Objects in the mirror might be closer than what they appear, man. We on a warpath, boss. Boop ba ba boop ba ba dee ba 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 da. Let's go. Woo-hoo. Flat drop 101. Alright, man, having too much fun. We're gonna have some fun with some reactions, and then we're gonna come back and do some connections, man, for the dismount, my niggas, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just having too much fun, man. Again, you got this Katan, the Arab al-Ariba. The Arab al-Ariba. Alright, Hebrew, the name Arba means four. Refers to a prominent giant and father of Anak, associated with the city of Hebron. So Ariba connects to the Hebrew or the Hebron or the Karya Katai, Katai, Arba, city of Arba. Do you see clearly? Are we seeing clearly? Let's just keep going. I'm gonna leave these links. I want you to go on the the red goose chase, man, and connect these things. But then you got Aruba Island, right? Yeah, Aruba Island, commonly misspelled or mishearing of Aruba. Just the one-letter Aruba. Look into this Aruba. See if you find any connections. This is your homework, cuz. This is your homework, man, all right? Because I could take another hour doing this, but I want to get to this reaction and have some fun and get my popcorn out, man. So it's Prester 164. I deserve a chance to kick back and react. Ariba means what? Joy, they say. Some type of joy situation. An exclamation of joy. I know it's small. An exclamation of joy. It's all good. It's all good. But they're just talking joy. This is the Arabic names, meanings. And it brings me to this Aruba history, right? Beginning with the indigenous Arawak. Shout out to Kuti Mayo, who did some drop on the Arawak, man. And Aruba's history began with indigenous Arawak peoples claimed by Spain, 1499. Remember, Black King Charles, man. He's still the king of Spain. He's still at 1499. Black ass King Charles, man. 1499. He's just getting started. 1500. He's just getting started, right? So Spain, this is what Spain looked like. King of Spain, right? King of Spain. This is what Spain looked like. Swarthy, Spain, Spanish. Swarthy as a Spaniard, right? Copper color. Swarthy. Shout out to Benjamin Franklin. Like the Moors and the Spaniards, right? Like the Italians. The Spaniards are black, man. Got a dusky, dark complexion, yeah. Got a haughty-eyed Charles, man. These are the Spaniards. Charles the fourth reign as king of Spain. These are the kings of Spain and Portugal's, cutting off the Inca line. This is in the museum, the Lima Museum. Big Mama, Big Pops. The whole line gets cut off by Charles. Right here. Right here. Comes with his cross, steals all the jewels. Spain, Spain, Spain. And then they broke the images again to color them white. $14.99, 1500s. So Aruba's history began with the Arawak people claimed by Spain, 1499. Here they come. Hijack City. What else we got? You know, this is a light connection with the Ariba and the Aruba flow, but just for fun, Ariba constitute island country within the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Remember, they took all the islands. They took the islands, the lands, the harbors, and seas. Okay. Took the islands. Island country. Well situated island. I guess so. It's right by Venezuela. It's right by the Mount Roraima. Taino name. So the Taino, I think, comes out of the Arawak, or the Arawak comes out of Taino. Either way, we're still talking Israelites. They got the gold rush just like the California gold rush. We belly flopping, but you see what it is. Venezuela, right? So it's all connected. All this is situated around the same areas. You know, dig on it. We're just connecting the Ariba with the Aruba. Mount Roraima. Okay, a giant flat-top mountain or mesa in the Roraima Mountains, Guyana Highlands. At the point where the boundaries of Brazil, Venezuela, and Guyana meet, it is the source of many rivers of Guyana and of the Amazon and the Orinoco rivers. And again, the Orinoco is what Columbus said flows out of paradise. He said this must be flowing out of Eden. It must be flowing out of paradise. And the source of the Orinoco is this giant tree. This giant tree, right? Yeah, man. You telling us, man. This is the source. This is the source of the Amazon. This is the source of the Amazon. See all the water? This is above the clouds, but water's flowing out of it. It's a giant tree stump. Any flat top mesa is a tree stump that's been severed. The giant trees were cut. Go get the series when mountains were trees. Do you want to ride the firmament with me? When mountains were trees. Tabletop mountains are cut off trees, man. We're talking Venezuela. Now you see that water flow, source of the Amazon, source of the Orinoco systems, right? They got Angel Falls waterfall coming out this thing. Southeastern Venezuela, Horan River, alright. They call it Devil's Mountain. They say there's dragons up there. Yeah, man. I mean, where would you be if you was a dragon, man? Probably one of these flat top, super high tree stumps, man. Still connected with the mother trees. But this Roraima is the source of the Amazon, man. The source of the Amazon and the Orinoco. And I always like digging on the Amazon in the 1828 Webster, because they give you the drop. Is it Amazon or is it amazing? Is it Amazon or Amazon? Is Amazon, 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 or is it amazing? Is Amazon or is it amazing? They say it is the Mar Anan, the real name. Say it with me, Con. Body bag for the illusion. This is body bag 3,462 million. Because the Mar just means the river, the Moor, the great river, or the Anan, man. Say it with me. Ania. Ania. Oh. Ooh. The anion is connected with the Mar. Nah. You see why Trump is over there trying to tap into the tree? This is way beyond oil, cuz. This is about the Mar. Nah. This is about anion, or hydrogen ions. Anion is also an ion. One letter rule. Negatively charged ion. The ion is the John. Who is Prester John? Is the Yan. The Yan is the Naga is the Nega is the Naga. The Nega charge is the Naga charge. That would be attracted to the anode of electrolysis. You want hydrogen and anion charge? Now we could talk alkaline, man. Now we could talk fountain of youth. Now we could talk that living water formula. We're just talking anions, diatomic anions. Hydrogen ions is an anion. So the fountain of youth must connect with the Naga charged, negatively charged water, the charged up pure water, the hydrogen ions in pure water flowing. I'm talking the concentration, con. And the difference between the anion and the cation is the direction that it's spinning, man. Ooh. Anion. Anion is the Mar anion. Is the Orinoco River, which is what makes it so great. The Orinoco flowing out of Mount Roraima, interesting mountain located in the Guyana highlands. The peak actually shares the border with Venezuela and Brazil and Guyana, and the mountain is almost always approached from the Venezuelan side. Then they make these pilgrimages and they make these treks, and they got people helping you climb up, you know what I mean, different things. But they say it's very rare fruits and vegetables and all kinds of stuff. There's a whole book about it. Some call it El Dorado. Some say El Dorado is inside of it. There's a lot of myth around this. Definitely a lot of dragon drop connected to Mount Roraima. But somebody cut the tree down, right? The Macunema was a trickster, cut down the tree and created a terrible flood. Now you got bitter waters. Every time one of these giant trees got cut, it formed bitter waters, man. Even Moses had to make the waters sweet again. Mount Roraima is the stump of that great tree. Giant tree stump. This is the stump of a mighty tree. And since it's the source of the Amazon, and the Amazon is the source of so much, I'm going to call it Tree of Life, man. Just out of GP, you know. Just out of respect. See all this water flowing? They going into the caves, they getting crystals, right? Quartz. They got bathing pools of that ionized anion water. They all up in the caves, man. Weird rock formations at the top, you know, different things. Who knows what the fullness of it all is, man? Who knows? You see it, you see it. I'll leave a link. I need you to recon Mount Roraima, called the mother of all waters. So when I say Tree of Life, I'm not on no play. Wrapped in mystery. 4 millions of years ago. Yeah, all right, man. Stop it, man. Just stop it. I'm talking about a tree stump that's still above the clouds, man. Crystals just popping out of it. Hijacks going through it. Ooh, you got the drop. And again, the air walk. Right. Let's get back on it, man. Aruba or Ariba, history began with the indigenous Arawak people. Arawak language, known as Lakano, Dian, people's talk, is an Arawakan Arawakan. So when you see Wakanda forever, Black Panther, Love to Kuti Mayo did a great job on this too, with the Black Panther drop, the Hawaka drop. The Wakan is the Wakan, duh. That DA in Hebrew is the door, the opening, the entrance. The Khan is the Khan, right? The Wa is Wa, the Ara Wa Khan. You see the Hebrew already connected. But we're going to connect the Hebrew even further. Caribbean or Araba, right? Araba. You see how they change the C's and add a C's, and you know what I mean? You see the drop. We're talking Taino. We're talking South America. Amer Indians, huh? Amer Indians. Now it says that Columbus, they are recognized as one of the first groups that Christopher Columbus encountered during his 1492. So just like the Chickamauga, they was on the front lines and are one of the first groups encountered during the 1492 voyage. Remember, in 1492, you still got black-ass King Charles. Black-ass King Charles. Charles V. The same Charles that, you know, had Prester on his mind. Charles V. He was a factor. Who was a factor? Prester was a factor. He didn't want nobody else over here, right? Although Emperor Charles V, 1522, decree stated he didn't want not one new convert to Catholicism. Remember, Catholicism is still Cathay. They're still in the titles, like Roman is Romani, Raman, Pomegranate. Catholic is Cathay still. It's just Cathay faith. They didn't want no Moor or no Jew or Judah, nor their children are allowed to pass to the Indies or India Superior. The tribes of Prester John. He didn't want no more Hebrews in America. They're not allowed to go into the Americas. But still some families like the Carval Shaw family spread rapidly throughout the Caribbean or Arab, Mexico, and South America, man. So we're still talking Arawak. Wow. Still talking Arawak. They are recognized as one of the first groups that Columbus front lines, man. They was on the front lines, the Taino, a subgroup of the Arawak. So the Taino come out the Arawak, all right? Wakanda, Arawakan. Particularly notable in pre-Columbian times, the Arawaks are known for their pottery agriculture, specifically the cultivation of cassava and fishing skills. Arawak language and customs significantly influenced the culture and linguistic patterns of the Arabians or Caribbeans. Again, this document, I keep forgetting to give you the source because we dig on primary sources. Journal of Spanish and Portuguese and Italian Crypto Jews. So go dig on it. Go dig on it. We're talking Roger Luis Martinez Davila. We like to give you the sources. Now this is another Professor Rodriguez, Ramon, University of Puerto Rico, Utuado. We are in the presence of an annotation system that has never been documented. Ooh. They want to know if Solomon and the Hebrews discovered America, or were they already here? Kalalus just found here. I haven't seen this article yet, but I'll leave it for you, and you see that they're connecting, pre-colonial revelations of HaWah to Native Americans. Copper color race is found here, right? The stones are inscribed in language script previously unknown to linguists with expertise in Phoenician and Proto-Hebrew, or Iber Kavera. Expert linguists deciphered the writings to be a mixture of Hebrew and a little bit of Phoenician and unknown script. Using carbon-14 tests on the red paint found on the stones, they have been dated to approximately 900 BC. That is the time when King David's son Solomon sent out ships from Tarsus throughout the world to collect resources like bronze and gold. They're not connecting that these Hebrew settlers are already in India Superior, the Kibera. But they trying, boss, they trying. We're talking artifacts with Hebrew on them. We're talking artifacts with Hebrew, which bears a strange resemblance to the word Hebrew. Taino means people of the mountains, but bears a strange resemblance to the word Hebrew. Expert scholars of high reputation speculated that the writing was a form of Hebrew. We're talking artifacts, Taino artifacts, Arawak artifacts. 1893, Nazario wrote a short article titled Escritor Aborigen de Caribe, or Arab, Aboriginal Writing of the Carib, in which he explained his interpretations of these carvings. After a thorough analysis of the stones and their inscriptions, he dismissed an Arawak Taino language origin, and by 1897 he concluded that the writings were more reminiscent of ancient Hebrew. Say it with me, cuz. Body bag for the illusion. How many count the body bags, man? Bodies on bodies in Calais loose. Akis on Akis the Amaru. We talking Sylvanus to Texas. Genealogy never connects this. Ooh-wee. Y'all got the links, man. We talking artifacts. A remnant of ancient stones, 20 of 800, made its way halfway across the world, solving a 3,500-year-old mystery. What did these stones whisper about the pre-Columbian indigenous people of the island of Puerto Rico? They are Hebrews. Hebrew writing. Love to bridewell.omeka.net. Arawak Gospels, Acts, and Genesis, man. We're talking to M.J. Watts for the Society of Promotion of Christian Knowledge, 1856. Receipts on receipts. One group of Arawak Indians, the Taino, encountered Christopher Columbus 1492 in his first voyage to the Western Hemisphere. The first printing of any book of the Bible, however, did not appear until 1850 with the publication of Matthew and Acts, and the Apostle hijacks it. Prepared by William Henry Brett, a missionary of the Society of Propagation of the Gospel, this illustrated 1856 printing includes selections from Genesis, the four Gospels. I affixed to the front paste down of this copy is a collect before reading the scriptures in Arawak. The final page of text has printed 2 additional collects also in Arawak. You only put something holy in something holy, and of course they're hijacking with the New Test, and they are syncretizing and doing the coming together of opposites. But the point is, man, they won't even be playing with this Native American nothing if it wasn't a Hebrew holy connection to it. Why even play with the Arawak like that? Why put it in the Bible, man? Huh? Get the drive, man. Get the drive. Hey, Cootie Mayo, get in the classroom at Cootie Mayo. Take the wheel.
Christopher Columbus and the participation of the Jews in the Spanish Portuguese discoveries by Dr. M. Kaiser Ling. This was written in 1894. Roldan's chief argument in support of his view is the language of the Indians in Hispaniola, Cuba, Jamaica, and the adjoining islands. He contends that it has many resemblances to Hebrew. In fact, he even calls it a corrupted Hebrew. He asserts that such names as Cuba and Haiti are Hebrew, and that they were first applied by the earliest caciques, the chiefs or leaders, Casim. All right, we're going to see what he means by that, Casim, who discovered and peopled the islands. So again, Casim or Cacique, he was saying Cacique comes from Casim. What is Casim? How do you say chief in Hebrew? And I was able to find this, which is Casim, right? And you can see the phonetic spelling, Casim, with a K, Casim. In the West Indies and the Spanish countries, the chiefs are called Cacique. Casim, Cacique, 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 Casim, very similar. Again, it says he asserts that such names of Cuban, Haiti, or Hebrew, and that they were first applied by the earliest caciques, Cacique, the chiefs or leaders, Casim. Casim, again, is Hebrew. Again, Casim means chief or ruler. Same thing as in Arawak language, Taino language, right? Cacique, because cacique is a Taino or Arawak word. So what are the Arawak really speaking, who came from South America, right? And their word for chief ruler is the same as Hebrew, katzink, katzinke, katzin, the same. From the book Christopher Columbus and the Participation of the Jews in the Spanish and Portuguese Discoveries by Dr. M. Kaiser Ling. This was written in 1894. Roldan's chief argument in support of his view is the language of the Indians in Hispaniola, Cuba, Jamaica, and the adjoining islands. He contends that it has many resemblances to Hebrew. In fact, he even calls it a corrupted Hebrew. He asserts that such names as Cuba and Haiti are Hebrew, and that they were first applied by the earliest caciques, the chiefs or leaders, Kasim. All right, we're going to see what he means.
So, you got the sources, man. Cootie Mayo, man, he's on a warpath, man. He's on a warpath with a con, man. Cootie Mayo, man, day one con, been in the classroom from day one, man. So proud of the con, just, expanding, man, and exploding the drop, man. Exploding, what I'm saying, testing it on all levels, man. So, we got primary water flowing, man. Hey, yo, Seth the Real, take the wheel. Aruba, Arriba, man. Lastly, man, is before we finally get to this reaction, I guess it's gonna be the best dismount of all time. We're gonna react to these jabronis talking about black English, man. Cause after all this, now you see what their infatuation is about how we speak, how we dress, how we walk, how we talk. You know what I mean? Like, they're looking at us from the outside in, like, these guys are really interesting, and they try to duplicate it, and they try to, put on their impressions, and still they can't do it. Even when they try to talk like us, they still can't talk like us, which is crazy because we talk like us, and we feel like we talking broken English and some subsidiary. They gonna call it the most sophisticated English because of the tonals and because of the depth of the interpretation of what we might be saying, and they still can't figure us out. Just know that there's a connection with this Arriba and this Oruba. And it's Al Arriba, Arab Arriba. Arriba is the Arab, Arab. Arub is Arab. But yeah, they have a very popular drink, a very popular beverage in Aruba is called the Aruba Arriba. Now, I'm just saying, could be nothing, could be something, but they do have a drink called Aruba Arriba, right? So we are not the only ones connecting the Arriba with the Aruba and the Arawak. Caribbean Sea, Pirates of the Caribbeans, right? Yeah, these niggas are pirates now, okay. And again, when they talk Orinoco, man, it connects directly with the tribes of Israel. Just like that. Just like that. Shout out to ultimanoticias.com, man. Columbus stopped with his ships before one of the mouths of the Orinoco River, writes to their Catholic kings, Ferdinand and Aragon and Isabella of Castile, pondering the precious vegetation of the Paria coast. Paria is Parias Khan by Cathay Khan. Very mild temperature of land adds about the people. I certify to their highnesses that there is no better land or better people. They love their neighbor as themselves. Sound like there's some code keepers. Speak the softest language in the world. Concluding, he affirms that these are great signs of the terrestrial paradise. Body bag for the illusion. Columbus does not make the metaphor of a beautiful place as our unbelieving time might think. No, the admiral notifies his arrival at an objective of conquest at a specific and real point of his journey, a geographical point, since for him the terrestrial paradise is perfectly earthly, and it is obviously an interesting point for the king and queen who have commissioned him to explore the regions of the ocean sea, discover and take possession. Discover and take possession. Has acquired and possessed and does possess these islands, lands, harbors, and seas. Man, I can't say it no more. Gives them to their successors. Gives them to their descendants. And this paradise lived as a man of that time could infer from reading saintly and abundant doctors of scholasticism and authoritative geographers of antiquity, the 10 lost tribes of Israel, tribes whose destiny and hiding were intertwined at the central knot of history and described in the Old Testament. The Arab robbers, lost tribes of Israel, right? That's why we on the warpath, boss. Where X marks the spot. And this mountain, this tree stump is the source of the Amazon and the Orinoco. And the Orinoco connects with Israel. Can you imagine this tree at full life, full breath? How many tribes were protected and nurtured by this tree? The type of fruit this tree was given. The protection. NoraKovitz.com, selling for Eden, Columbus, and the medieval search for paradise. He's just looking for paradise, man. Yeah, Columbus even eventually turned west, reached modern-day Trinidad. Shout out to my Trinity Nuggets, man. Toward the end of the 15th century, the idea of an earthly paradise in a real geographical location somewhere in the east was still very much ingrained in public imagination. Paradise was believed to be inaccessible as it was situated on top of a very high mountain. So they looked at paradise as being on a very high mountain. But now we in low altitude neighborhoods, right? We off the mountain, right? Thus, Columbus's conclusion of sailing upwards led him to the belief that he was advancing towards paradise. Because we are going to higher altitude. That's why they say this land of America popped out before other lands, because it's at a higher altitude than the other lands over there. Which lets us know, as a body bag, that this is an older world than their world, because our land is higher than their world. And it popped out the primordial waters before their world popped out the flood waters. And the islands, Hawaii and all these islands, are just the peaks of mountaintops that are underwater. From old Atlantis, the mountaintops are the islands. That water goes back down after the flood, you get the old kingdoms. But the highest elevation is what we're living on right now. And this is why they call it India Superior, God. This is where Prester John is seated, man. We're talking Mount Nebo, Machu Picchu, 8,000, 9,000 feet up. We're talking Asia Major, Cathay, Paradise. Paradise is Paradise. This is their map of their world, huh? The Epstorf World Map, splendid example of medieval ideas of paradise, possibly made in Epstorf in northern Germany, dated between the late 13th and early 14th century. The Epstorf World Map depicts the Garden of Eden as an event place at the very boundary of time and space. And they always put like Jerusalem in the middle, you know. Very similar when we look at the David Rumsey map. There ain't no ice. And you see these 4 openings. What's in the center of the Tootsie Pop, man? Where X marks the spot, man. Where X marks the spot. Finding himself approaching the mouth of the Orinoco River, Columbus was amazed by the vast quantities of fresh water flowing into the ocean. Contemporary depictions of paradise imagine a great river near paradise, the source of the 4 paradisical rivers. The 4 rivers of paradise flow directly to this north. In the center of the map, this is where your compass points. As north. No matter if you're over here, no matter where you are, your compass is always going to point towards the center. And when this tree of life was cut, oh man, the flood waters are the bitter waters from the tree of life in the center. And all these trees are connected by the roots and the caves and the underwater systems. The 4 paradisical rivers that connected earth and paradise, this together with the fertility and beauty of the land, they sailed alongside, convinced Columbus that he was on the outskirts of the actual Garden of Eden. When he came over here, around Trinidad, around Venezuela, Aruba, right? Orinoco, Amazon, Marna, amazing, Amazon. He knew he was connected with Amma, the actual Garden of Eden, as he wrote in his log. And all this provides great evidence of the earthly paradise. He wasn't over there looking at the earthly paradise. He came to America. He came to India Superior. All this provides great evidence of the earthly paradise because the situation agrees with the beliefs of those holy and wise theologians. An encounter with this blessed land, inhabitants swept away all remaining doubts. Canoes came to greet them. Columbus noted the finely proportioned people who wore pearls and gold on their necks and arms, and who heaped the explorers with gifts of maize, that's that corn, that real corn, fruits, and tame parrots. The inhabitants seemed to have no sense of private property or ownership. They gave everything freely, huh? And then you hijacked these knockers. Something that amazed the European navigators beyond measure. Although not new to Columbus, these parrots seemed significant. In Latin Christian theology, all animals could speak before the fall. Now, they were on the very doorstep of Eden. Talking birds appeared. This is a Christianity golden age, because now they could steal more land, spread out like parasites, all in the name of Christianity. All in the name of invading Saracens and pagans, and put us in perpetual slavery. Perpetual slavery. Perpetual. Put the copper color in perpetual. Never ceasing, continuing forever in future time, destined to be eternal. As a perpetual covenant, so we're fighting for our perpetual covenant. They're fighting to keep us in perpetual slavery. We're fighting for perpetual covenant, right? The same covenant I have sworn unto David my servant. I have made a covenant with my chosen. This covenant, right? Forever I will establish your seed. We got a forever perpetual covenant. They want us to have no inheritance, no covenant, and be in forever eternal slavery. David, my servant, with my holy oil have I anointed him, with whom my hand shall be established. My arms also shall exact strength from him. Right? The protection of the Creator, the enemy shall not exact from him, nor the sons of the wickedness afflict him. And I will beat to pieces his adversaries before him, and smite them that hate him. But they that hate him have lifted up their haughty eyes, haughty-eyed Charles. But my forgiveness, or my faithfulness, ShaLaWam, and my mercy shall be with him, and through my name shall his horn be exalted. I will set his hand also on the sea, but they stole the seas. Man, they stole the islands, the lands, harbors, and the seas. But David's hand is on the seas, and his right hand on the rivers, right? The paradisical rivers. And he shall call unto me, you are my Father, my power, the rock of my salvation. Who is your salvation? Who is your Savior if it ain't the Creator? I will appoint him my firstborn. Who's the firstborn son? Who's the highest of the kings of the earth? The symbol of the Grail is a symbol of authority and the traditions which are inherited. It is part and parcel of the legendary Prester John, the legend of whom was spread widely in the Middle Ages. I'm reading out The Medieval Empire of the Israelites by Robert Grisham. John was the master of a huge empire. He was omnipotent and all-powerful. Kings and czars were for him only subjects. Tractatus Pulcherimus calls John the King of Kings, Rex Negus. The King of Kings, man. He combines in himself spiritual and secular authority, and he can say about himself, Prester John, by God's grace, Lord of all the lords, who are only beneath heaven, from the rising of the sun to paradise on earth. In all the medieval sources, Prester John controls and holds back the tribes of Gog and Magog, and controls the seen and unseen worlds. Now we're talking about the King of Kings. The highest of the kings is the King of Kings. The highest of the kings. They had to visit the kingdom of Prester John just to be legitimized as rulers. Now the Pope took over that responsibility. Hijack City, the real Prester. The real Pope is the real Prester. King David, who they call Great Khan. Mysterious, miraculous stories. He is the Khan father. House of the Khan is the Batu Khan, which became the Vatican. Khan, they changed the B's to V's, right? One letter rule, Horace Butler take the wheel. Man. Okay. So the Godfather is the Khan father, the great Khan. House of the Khan, Batu Khan. King of Kings. All powerful. Highest of the kings of the earth, I will appoint him my firstborn. Look how they switched that around to Jesus. Now if you're anti-Jesus, they're going to come take your land. But if you believe David is the firstborn, forever I will have mercy. Keep my mercy, and my forever covenant shall stand with him, and his seed will I endure. I make to endure forever. Oh, but there's no more seed. We washed out now. Is the Creator a liar, or is there a seed, not a spiritual seed, an actual physical seed of Prester John? Right now, man. That's on a warpath right now, man. Fought against Genghis Khan. Fought against the Christian hijack, the Muslim hijack. We're talking covenants, right? Forever covenants. They want to put us in forever slavery, eternal slavery, perpetual slavery. But they knew they found the Garden of Eden. They knew they found the old world, the promised land, Great Cathay, Asia Major, India Superior, Grand Tartary. They know they found the Amaru Khans. And I'll leave this link from aelarson.wordpress, 1492, The Conquest of Paradise, Trouble in Paradise. The Conquest of Paradise. I mean, that says it all right there. They are invading paradise. What's Ishmael doing? Ishmael is invading paradise. Straight up. Straight up and down. Ishmael's invading. Using the Fort Wayne Treaty. 30 million acres. Illinois and Indiana. Turning Nagas against Nagas over who's going to keep what land. Slicing and dicing up paradise. And all these other treaties. Treaty of Greenville. Going with it, man. All this land, the Shawnee. They excluded the Shawnee from negotiations. And the Shawnee, you know, that's who Tecumseh is rocking out, the Shawnee, man. So they thought they can come over here because of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between Morocco, but I thought Morocco's being set up right here. Morocco and America, by the Wabash, by Illinois. Yeah, They set up Morocco right here in America. 1786. Then they migrated. 1786 treaty. Wow. Right in our face, man. (1785) they start migrating. 1786 they make the treaty. Get it? (1809) they take everything. 30 million. Then they start dancing around. Morocco. They made a deal with the devil because they're the more and more wars. Psalms 83 Confederacy. Ishmael and them, Edom and them, Moab and them. All right, they rocking with Noble Drew Ali. That's their prophet. Is that your prophet? Is he rocking with the Tecumseh? What side would he be on in the more and more war? What side would he be on in the Cherokee War? Yeah, they've been at war at least 93% of the time, man. This is a war. This is a... They on wartime, man. They been in battle time. We just waking up. We've been knocked out. But in 1785, Jack, we still rocking and fighting in Indian wars. Barbary wars, barbar. Pirates, right? Pirate wars. Anti-piracy is anti-us. Because they calling us the pirates, right? And the wars kept going and going. Indian, Mexican, Texas, Indian, Seminole. Their whole time they've been at war with Hebrews in America. And we just waking up to it. We thinking we black from Africa. We've been fighting their wars the whole time. Fighting in wars, the Saracen, yada, yada. Because they think they can keep us in perpetual slavery and take the kingdoms, dukedoms, counties, principalities, dominions, possessions, and goods and give them to their successors. And call us the Saracens. Well, they know that these Saracens are the Hebrews. And Columbus is bringing a Hebrew interpreter, Louis Torres, to speak to these Hebrews. This convert speaks Hebrew on Columbus's boat, specifically to interpret conversation with you, conversation with the Arawak, the Taino, in Hebrew. Because you're the Saracen that they went to war against. Now they're in Nigeria, right? In Africa and the New World, they don't care. They bombing everywhere. Using the same template from the Papal Bull, Doom Verses 1492. 1452. 1492, Columbus sails the ocean blue. And here we go. The conquest of paradise. Trouble in paradise. You read it, man. Make me sick to my stomach. Thinking about these Moorish treaties. Thinking about the treaties of Fort Wayne. 30 million acres, man. Sick to my stomach, man. Columbus had the misfortune on this trip of entering the doldrums, a dead space in the ocean where wind and ocean currents die and the heat is unbearable. After a little more than a week, the crew was saved by a southeasterly that pushed them westward. Changing course to the north prevented Columbus from discovering South America, but it did bring him to an island with 3 mountain peaks. Columbus named it Trinidad because it had the 3 peaks. Trinity, right? From here, they sailed into the Gulf of Paria. The Gulf of Paria is the Gulf of Mexico. Parias is Paris. God. They sailed into the Gulf of Paria and then to the coast of South America, which he named Tierra de Gracia. Seeing the huge amount of water flowing into the sea, the admiral believed that he had discovered a large landmass. The Orinoco River was the largest river any of the crew had ever seen. Columbus believed that the terrestrial paradise was at hand, since it was believed that all of the great rivers flowed from the Garden of Eden. How close Columbus came to realizing that this land was other than the fabled land of Marco Polo. In one report he wrote, "Your Highness will gain these lands, harbors and seas, doomed diverses, which are another world." They found you in another world. I don't know how else to get this through to you, Nagas. You're not from Africa. They just found you in a new world, man. They went straight to find more worlds beyond the poles. They keep going straight to find more worlds without giving into the idea that he was someplace other than Asia. He did manage to report. Yeah, he knows. He knows he's in Asia Major. Oh, he's lost in India. He's not lost in India, man. He's in India Superior. He's in India Superior. They gave us half truth. Yeah. Oh, y'all gonna gain these lands which are another world without giving into the idea that he was someplace other than Asia Major. He did manage to report, "I believe this is a very large continent which until now has remained unknown." Mysterious. Paris, man. October 12, 1492, 2 hither and 2 unknown worlds met on a little island in the Caribbean Sea while on a voyage of exploration for Spain in search of a direct sea route to the Far East. Christopher Columbus unintentionally discovered the New World in 4 different voyages to the Caribbean from 1492 to 1504. The discoverer remained convinced, however, that he had found the lands that Marco Polo reached in his overland travels to China at the end of the 13th century. But China, my naga, is right here. China is China. The land of the great Khan. To Columbus, it was only a matter of time before a passage through the Caribbean islands to the fabled cities of Cathay, Asia, Parias, Mexico, America. China is Cathay. Kapangu is Japan. Kapangu is Japan. Near Florida, boss. China, Cathay, Kapangu. Man, we got receipts on receipts. We getting mappy. We got cartography. So Cathay and Kapangu is China and Japan, and both of them are in America. Man, I said Cathay and Kapangu are China and Japan, and both of them are in America, man, because this is a map of America. As the way to China as men believed it to be in 1500. To the Europeans of this age, all land east of the Indus River was the Indies. Bang. Because he believed he had reached the Indies. India Superior, right? Columbus named the people Indians. Yeah, because he's in India Superior. Other contemporary adventurers, however, were not convinced that this was part of the old world. The Florentine explorer Amerigo Vespucci. We know we ain't named after no Americo. This is Makir Amari. Amari is Amari. America is Amaru. Amari. Makir. After whom Americas were named. Nah, it's the Amari. Makir Amari. Believed that this land was totally unknown to the ancients. Kalalus. Kalalus. Shout out to Michael Rourke, who's going to give us the drop on the Makir Davidic princes. Makir is Amor ben Amor. Yeah. Is Ameri. Manaka, this is who reconquered the American Empire of Kalalus. We talking 775 AD. Sylvanus Toltex's genealogy never connects this to Solomon the Builder. Sylvanus Brabo, which is where you're getting the Barbar Swanites, is the Barbar HaKazin. So when you look at the Barbary Wars, they're connected with the Barbar. Khan, the Barbar, means what? Swan, man. The Swanites. Sylvanus Toltexis. That's where you get the Toltecs, man. Solomon the Builder connects with the American Empire of Kalalus. Connects directly with the Amari, Makir, Theodore. Wow. Man, they turn all of us into colored, man. Shout out to NYTN. Let go.
Trying to pass as Indian to get around segregation laws. This was his theory. He called them mongrels. He called them near whites.
Now, the mongrel is the Mongol, so they are correct. We are the greats. The Mongol just means great.
Sometimes he said they were striving to pass, and he made a list. This is a real document. It's called Surnames by Counties and Cities of Mixed Negroid Virginia Families Striving to Pass as Indian or White. The state of Virginia started reclassifying these people as colored. Not Native American, colored. The onus is on you to prove that you're white. Which is, and I cannot stress this enough, that is impossible. It was impossible to prove this. Suddenly, these families had a big problem. Because the law said 1 drop of non-white blood makes you not white. So are the Randolphs not white now? Are Virginia's most powerful families about to be barred from marrying other white people? Are their kids going to be kicked out of the good schools? Are they going to be buried in colored cemeteries? No, of course not. That's why the Pocahontas exception exists.
No other healthy meal service is doing it like that.
So now they can connect themselves to Pocahontas in order for them to be declared as genuine Arabi, right? Genuine Indians. Hijacks.
Americans, you're obsessed with race. Why are you so obsessed? Dude, we're not obsessed with race. This is written into our history, and then it wasn't taught. I'm so serious about this. It's a hit list of family names. Oh, why are you guys so obsessed with race? Look at this freaking document. Hi, I'm Danielle Romero. Thank you so much for being with me here on my channel where we talk about...
Y'all get the job. I'm just bringing y'all to some of the waters left to NYTN, and she's referring to the paper genocide. You know, on top of the physical, straight up genocide. Hey, popping off, man. We in battle time. For real, for real. Woo. Big Chief Tootie, Montana, man. What y'all know about this? Yeah. They turned him into colored. They turned him into colored. Remember what old boy said about it, right? Make sure y'all surfing the wave on the IG. Remember what old boy in Virginia? We talking Virginia, right?
That occurred, and there was the side that occurred, and there was the officials in Virginia deliberately expunged the records. They destroyed the official records and most of the private records. I mean, I've got a statement that gets into the whole thing, but basically, a lot of Virginia's ruling elite claimed to be blood descendants of Pocahontas, and in their view, that meant that no one else in Virginia could make a claim that they were Native American, a descendant of Pocahontas, because to do so would mean that Virginia's ruling elite would have to be classified as all other non-whites were, which was, in quotes, and this was the law, the inferior Negroid race.
So either you qualify as, Pocahontas Indian, or you were the inferior Negroid race. See how Satan flips everything upside down. We became the tail and not the head. Deuteronomy 28.
This is what it was about. And with enormous hypocrisy, Virginia's ruling elite pushed policies, got them passed, and it culminated with the Racial Integrity Act of 1924. There was a paper genocide.
Paper genocide, physical genocide, spiritual genocide against the enemies of their anointed, their Zeus. If you were an enemy of Zeus, they can come. If you were an unbeliever in Zeus, they can come to all lands. Say they discovered lands in the age of them finally getting out of the insular worlds. They were trapped in those worlds, finally got out, started looking around and seizing everything. Non-Christian, anti-Christ, anti-Greek anointed, anti-Zeus, because we rock with the Creator only. Enslave us into perpetual slavery, Christian peoples in Africa, non-Christian peoples, right? So they couldn't be looking for Prester John as a Christian ally if they came and declared his land a non-Christian land. Make it make sense. They just found you in a new world, man. Y'all ready to react? I think we earned it now, man. This is how they look at us. Love to ABZ and Mike. We just looking at y'all, looking at us, man. Let's see how they decipher our language and call it Black English for the dismount. We out of here, baby.
Your grammar is basic compared to Black English, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get in there, because one or two people ask us to check this video out. So I don't really know what it's about. So we're obviously gonna find out. Smash this like button, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're closing on 6K. We really have.
The language variety indigenous to the United States, developed by Black people who were the descendants of formerly enslaved Africans.
Damn. Now we just descendants of formerly enslaved Africans. What happened to the kings, the queens, the royals? What happened to India Superior, man? Damn. Y'all heard that, man?
That all the way back. Don't want to miss a single second.
Here's a really spicy claim. Black English, the language variety indigenous to the United States, developed by Black people who were the descendants of formerly enslaved Africans. That's more complex and more sophisticated than the academic English that we all learned in the classroom. Stick with me on this one.
Really?
I recently gave a keynote speech at the American Association of Electronic Reporters and Transcribers, where I talked about accents and non-standard dialects and all the challenges that those pose for transcription, and especially for human transcriptionists who want to be better than AI. And I made that claim. And it seemed to surprise people. And I get it. I get it. You're probably still on, wait, is he talking about Ebonics? And sort of. I'll explain that too. But whatever you call it, a lot of people have the stereotype that it's lazy, that it's bad English, and that it flouts or completely disregards the entire concept.
See, he laughed because he has, and later he's going to admit, I also looked at black English as lazy, yada, yada. They're all taught to be above us. We have become the tail and not the head. They think their English is better than how we speak. They think we're lazy. They think they're better than us. And a lot of them connect with African tribes that went to the UK, yada, yada, migrations. They still not like us. They're not from the same exact seed of melanated tribes as these Nagas. So all of them are taught that we're lazy, Nagas and this, whether you're talking Mexicans, whites, Africans, UK, da-da-da. The whole world is a confederacy against the Hebrew Nagas right here in India, superior.
Concept of grammar. And that's wrong. That could not be further from the truth, which is a whole lot weirder than you probably know. So stick around and I'll explain why exactly I say Black English, African American language, Ebonics, is more grammatically complex than you might think, and more sophisticated than it's given credit for. I'm Dr. Taylor Jones, and I'm finna blow your mind. I'm Dr. Taylor Jones, and
when you write, your tone influence.
We get it, man. You a doctor. Let's see what the doc got to say. Come on, man.
Sometimes it started to make more sense. I swear that I don't know. Like, this was before them, but like, in recent times, or Black Americans. This is gonna be interesting, though, Mike.
I have no clue.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I used to think that African Americans or Black Americans English is a bit lazy.
You could tell he's from some African tribe originally. You could just tell, right? So now we lazy. Now our language is lazy. He's like, yeah. We're better than them. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
I swear that I don't know. Like, this was before them, but like, in recent times, it started to make more sense.
Okay. Was opened.
I promise you this is not a gimmick. What you probably know as Ebonics and what linguists call African American English or African American language or something like Black English, the Black ones anyway, is way more grammatically complex and subtle and nuanced and, yes, sophisticated than people think. But that's not the reputation it has. So first, why the reputation? And then I'll tell you all about the more complex grammar, which is really cool. Before I continue, I just want to add that I'm working on a book right now about how Black English has shaped all of American English.
His whole swag is about studying Black English. We speak it in the hood every day. And they're going to try to, duplicate it or, make examples of it. And they still can't do it. They still can't speak like us. He's writing books about how you Nagas speak. And I want you to know that. You Nagas in the land of Prester John, they're still studying how you speak and how you move and how you dress. In Cathay, where they just found you, right? In Asia Major, where they just found you. Where they want to put you in perpetual eternal slavery. Copper colored Nagas just found here, they're still studying how you speak, man. That's heavy.
English, but its impact is in many ways invisible or even actively erased. If you're interested in that book, and you should be, please leave me a comment saying so, maybe even ask me what you wish you knew about it. That way, publishers and agents can see how much interest there actually is. And
well, you're interested, so I guess it's a lot.
We're enslaved in the American South. And yes, other groups were enslaved and have been throughout history, but in the U.S., the Irish ran away and then claimed they weren't Irish and nobody could tell. And the indigenous people ran away and then got really good at staying away because they...
The indigenous people ran away and stayed away? What is wrong with these people, man? It's like you got to be a white, You got to be a thing or a demon to talk like this. These people got massacred and they're still here. These indigenous people are the copper color races that are still found here called Black, and you're talking Black English. Because we played the harlot, right? And we went many days without a king. But you're studying still our flow. You're still over here, you know what I mean? Swinging on our tree, man.
They already knew the terrain better. They were here first. Slavers very quickly settled on bringing Africans who, if they even survived the trip, were in a foreign land, stood out wherever they went, and were thrown in with people who didn't speak the same languages. And that's kind of an important part here. You have lots of people who are native speakers of Bantu languages, but who are forced to communicate using either the plantation Creole or some form of English. Now's not the time to go into all the detail about the linguistic arguments about the genesis of African American English, and in fact, we can never really know because we have insufficient and wildly unreliable records. It's a hugely contentious issue in linguistics. And that unreliability of records is kind of the point. The U.S. has a mainstream culture that stereotypes black people as lazy and unintelligent, and it comes in large part out of our history of slavery and Jim Crow. Unintelligent is a justification for forcing people to do manual labor they don't want to do, and lazy is one way of looking at their resisting literal slavery. You go pick tobacco in Maryland in June and get back to me about how enthusiastic you are about doing that all day, every day. Until after the Civil War, black Americans were denied even basic education, albeit with some exceptions, and it wasn't until the middle of the 20th century that they were guaranteed equal and not separate access to education, at least on paper. But also, we tend to overstate the importance of formal education and academic norms around the right way to speak. Any language you could name, including the fancy educated ones like Latin, were developed by illiterate people, literally, since language change is driven by kids. So, over the last 400 years, black Americans have developed a distinct language variety. Not all black Americans, obviously, and in fact, more than one variety. Gullah and Black English are not the same. Ebonics actually historically referred to all the different language varieties that came out of the New World contact between West African languages and European colonial languages. So technically, Brazilian Portuguese, Haitian Creole, and Gullah are all Ebonics too.
You could just tell they think they're so smart, so studied, got their degrees, and you know, Ebonics, and this was officially this and officially this, and you still don't even know the mysteries. You still don't even know who we are. HaWah said, I'm gonna make your wise men look like fools, and they look like fools when they talk about us.
But the point is that it is its own distinct language variety. Maybe a dialect of English, maybe a decreolized Creole. As I've said in other videos, it has rules. This means that it's not just breaking the rules of classroom English. It's a language variety with highly regular, highly systematic rules. The rules are just different from classroom English. And that's where we get to my claim that it's more complicated and sophisticated. I'm not saying the dudes in the corner outside in Harlem where I live, hanging out and smoking, are necessarily more sophisticated by...
Necessarily more sophisticated, yes they are. Who you trying to classify as just hanging out, smoking? Yes, they are. They are the sons and daughters of Prester John. I'm not saying just the street Negro is more sophisticated, don't get me wrong, but, you know, you got Obama and you got Michael Jordan. Don't try to nitpick out of us, put us against us, the ones that are educated in your public school, Indian schools, which is doing nothing but degrading our intelligence, telling us we're from Africa when they just found us right here. We've been here since time immemorial. We are the eternal, original, true products of nature, true products of HaWah, the Creator. You don't know nothing about us, Jack.
By our cultural standards than the Ivy League professors teaching down the street of Columbia in their tweed or whatever. But I am absolutely saying that their language use is grammatically more sophisticated than the English being taught to those Ivy League legacy students in their first year writing classes. So hear me out. A lot of you like my channel for language learning and linguistics content about other languages. Many know that I'm big on thinking about how languages treat tense, aspect, and mood. If you haven't watched my videos about these, all you really need to know is that we abuse the word tense in English to refer to all three. To grossly oversimplify, tense actually refers to whether some shape of the verb indicates when something happens. Aspect indicates whether it's thought of as ongoing or completed, and mood refers to something that indicates in some way how the speaker feels about what they're talking about. Some languages have only tense or only aspect. So for instance, Mandarin Chinese has aspect but not tense. Biblical Hebrew had aspect and not tense. Modern Hebrew has tense and aspect is a bit iffy. In English, we have modal verbs like you should do this or you must do that, but other languages can modify basically anything. So you have things like the subjunctive that indicates doubt about the proposition. It also does other stuff that's more structural because languages are messy. So the point here is when I say Black English is more complicated and sophisticated, what I mean is that the grammatical system of tense, aspect, and mood in Black English makes more and more nuanced distinctions. Where it gets confusing is that it does so with basically the same words, just used differently. Dr. Arthur Spears calls these camouflage constructions. So let me give some examples. The most famous in linguistics is what is sometimes called habitual be. I actually don't really like the name and prefer the less used invariant be because it has more functions than marking habituality, but that is a main one. So if I say it be that way, that doesn't mean the same thing as it is that way. When you add the word sometimes, both end up meaning the same thing, but it be that way on its own has built in that it is that way sometimes and not necessarily right now. These can lead to miscommunications where people who don't speak Black English think that they understand what's being said, but they're missing some of the nuance. And instead of recognizing that, they usually think that the Black English speaker is just using bad grammar. So if I say, I'm going to call him at work, and my friend says, nah, he don't be at work, I might understand the social communicative function of that speech act and choose not to call him, but I might miss the nuance. He isn't usually at work, so it's probably not a good bet, but my friend is not.
I'm not going to lie to you, but I kind of agree, but I don't know, like, when I listen to, like, you know, Black Americans, but, like, I don't know, it's just far more interesting, right, to listen to them compared to, like...
Come on, man, we out of here, baby. What do you mean it's far more interesting to listen to us? What are you talking about? What are y'all jabronis talking about? We in Prester 164 talking about y'all. You're going to have to do 164 3-hour, 4-hour, 5-hour, 6-hour videos to catch up to where we at with the recon. We ain't over here on no play. Go get number one. If you think we playing, this is HaWah built. What do you mean we're far more interesting? You think we over here talking about y'all and how interesting y'all talk? You think we're over here holding council talking about how interesting your UK slango is, man? You think we're over here listening to all the UK rappers and vibing, man? But you vibing off of Kendrick, you vibing off of Nipsey, you vibing off of Tupac. It's far more interesting. We are interesting to y'all. And no disrespect, but we ain't thinking about y'all and what y'all talking and what you saying and how you saying it, and definitely not how the WIGHT is talking. We're not interested in no demon talk. We're not even interested in demon time no more because we waking up. We ain't slaughtering our brothers and sisters no more. We waking up. We out of that, man. I said we out of here, baby. It's just so interesting to listen to these Indians of India Superior.
Since, like, you know, Black Americans, but, like, I don't know, it's just far more interesting, right, to listen to them.
It's just so interesting to listen to these copper-colored niggas just found right here in America. These cons, their language, their Black English is so interesting.
It's like, compared to, like, someone that speak, like, for example, like Queen's English, you know.
Queen's English is Queen Hijack.
Because, you
But
know,
what he's trying to say, what I'm trying to like, I agree with what you said as well. He's saying like a lot of Black American language or the way they speak has multiple meanings, which is quite fascinating, he's saying.
yeah, the same words.
What? So the stuff y'all say don't have multiple meanings? The stuff y'all say is not deep? What?
Can mean multiple different things.
But if you don't know how to read it or figure it out,
Yeah.
it just seems like nonsense to you. It just seems like...
So if I say I'm going to the crib, it has multiple meanings. I'm out of here, man.
Grammatically wrong, which is what he's trying to say, which is so fascinating.
Yeah. So, like, because the thing is, with regular English, like, it's very straightforward. If someone say I'm going home, you know exactly what they mean. But like, if an American, Black American say I gotta go home, so
I'm out of here, boss. What is y'all talk? What do you mean? He compared Queen's proper English, I'm going home, to Black English, I gotta go home. All he did was put gotta in the sentence and it became Black English, and now it's interesting. Did y'all hear this shit, man?
if an Black American say I gotta go home, something like that, like, it could mean multiple. Americans say I gotta go home.
Seems like grammatically wrong, which is what he's trying to say, which is so fascinating.
Yeah. So, like, because the thing is, with regular English, like, it's very straightforward. If someone say I'm going home, you know exactly what they mean. But like, if an American,
I'm going home versus what?
Black Americans say I gotta go home.
Birdman hand rub, I'm out of here, boss. Talk to Drizzy Drake, the London bloke. Talk to the bloke to the Baltic bloke. Talk to the bloke to the Baltic bloke. Talk to the bloke to the Baltic bloke. Talk to Drizzy Drake. Talk to the London bloke. The Iceman. The Iceman. The London bloke to the Baltic bloke. London bloke to the Baltic bloke. I love my London cons, but you already know, man. Y'all know what y'all connect to, man. You're not trying to connect to no Queen's English. You're trying to connect to the American. Because the real ones, man, you are the American. You are the Indians of India Superior. When I'm talking Prester John, I'm talking about you. I'm doing it for my Nagas scattered from here, not taken from Africa, taken from the indigenous old world of India Superior, the land of Prester John. I'm saying this is your ancestor. The Great Khan. And they came over here, forced their way through the Crusades and perpetual slavery and Saracen slavery. London bloke to the Bunting bloke. For real. But then we got different tribes, right? Right? Because it's migrations and you got different things in the UK. We're not all black. Black means wicked. We are Americans. Amari.
Something like that, like, it could mean multiple, So, it makes sense why he would say it's more sophisticated because, it's a bit ambiguous, if that's the right word.
All he did was add, I gotta go. What he talking about? I'm back to the crib now. See, what they needed here was like a real American Naga, right? To be sitting here with his hoodie on, looking at y'all like y'all crazy, like, bruh, what you say? I gotta go home. You say, man, I would say, I'm back to the crib now. Audi 5 wow. We back. What does it mean? It's too deep. These people are trying to dissect what we mean and can't even come close.
It could, yeah.
Speech Act and choose not to call him, but I might miss the nuance. He isn't usually at work, so it's probably not a good bet. But my friend is not asserting that they know he isn't at work right now. In fact, it could be the case that he don't usually be at work, but in an unforeseen turn of events, he's there right now. Did you notice?
You see how he try to talk Black English? He there right now. He there right now, boy. It's like they want to be eyes of bees. Eyes of bees are going back to work, boss. Eyes of bees are happy, boss. He there right now, boss.
Usually be at work, but in an unforeseen turn of events, he there right now. Did you notice, by the way, that you can optionally delete the present indicative form of to be, just like in Hebrew, Russian, Arabic, Mandarin, and a ton of other languages?
Just like in Hebrew. Now, he just threw that out there. That the way we talking is just like they would in the Hebrew, but we're not even conscious of it.
Way that you can optionally delete the present indicative form of to be, just like in Hebrew, Russian, Arabic, Mandarin, and
Hebrew and Russian. Now we're just talking about the and. I can't make this stuff up.
A ton of other languages. Habitual B isn't just about the habits, but can also be about generic states. Dr. Lisa Green calls the trickier abstract form bicycle sentences after an example from a famous interview where the speaker said something along the lines of, some of them be big and some of them be small. This doesn't mean that each bicycle is usually big but sometimes small, like the magic school bus. And invariant B is just the tip of the iceberg. There's stressed Ben, which indicates remote perfect. You know how saying...
He's a linguist, man. He's studying this. He's a doctor. He's trying to make it make sense, and it still don't make sense. HaWah's making their wise men look like freaking fools.
I have been in English means it started in the past and it's relevant to the present, especially in like British English. Remote been usually indicates completion in the distant past and relevance to the present. So if I say, I've been told you that, it doesn't mean I've been telling you that. It means I told you that a long time ago, dummy. Linguists did an informal study of white school teachers in Harlem in the 1970s and asked teachers, if your student says they been did their homework, is it completed or are they still working on it? And the majority of the teachers got it wrong. Using the dialect kids speak at home to teach them literacy and then using the ability to read and write to teach them academic English was actually the proposal that kicked off the Oakland Ebonics controversy. Black English also has many more modal verbs than classroom English.
You know one thing I like about black people, man? This is even common in the UK, you know?
Hold up, man. You just called us lazy. Now you like us, man. Now we interesting.
It's like we like to add our own twist to everything. Right, we've done the same thing with English. In the UK as well. Like, yeah, in the UK, like we've added our own twist as well.
Come on, boss. Don't try to be like us now. Oh, in the UK, we done the same thing. You don't want to let us shine. Just let us shine, man. He's talking about the most sophisticated English in the world is Naga English, right? Naga Ebonics, Naga talk. It's the most sophisticated, most interesting, tonal, everything. And now, but in the UK, we add our twist too. You know, a black UK don't talk like a white UK boss.
In our own slang words, you know, we don't just speak like, bro, a black British don't talk like a white British, bro.
A black British don't talk like a white British.
Yeah, you know, yeah. So, and, you know, it's like it's the same in America. So I like how we add our own twist, add our own flavors, man, to everything, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could save thousands.
A black British don't talk like a white British. Block in block to the back in block. One more minute.
It kicked off the Oakland Ebonics controversy. Black English also has many more modal verbs than classroom English, although many of you might be familiar with them from social media or from them slowly being adopted into the mainstream. There's the future modal finna, originally from the very southern.
I finna go to the stove.
Fixing oneself to do something.
I fix it go to the stove.
In the South, everybody uses it. In the North, it was historically only speakers of Black English.
I'm finna get home.
There's Trina, which does not mean...
They try to talk like you, boss.
Let me say that again. Trina does not mean...
Let me say that back, bro.
Very Southern, fixing oneself to do something. In the South, everybody uses it. In the North, it was historically only speakers of Black English, though that's changing. There's Trina, which does not mean trying to. Let me say that again. Trina does not mean trying to. It's a future modal that indicates intent, not attempt. That's how you can get a question like, when are you trying to leave? The same is the case for bouda. And there's further reduction of gonna to gon and on and And
my nigga, don't think too hard about this. This is them thinking about you. I'm just showing you this so that you see them thinking about you and how interesting you are in the kingdom of Prester John. How you talk determines their whole life, man. Look at them. There's UK Nagas and this, you know, Caucasian having a conversation about us, and we're not even on the panel. Because if we were, we'll be over there in our hoodie, man, looking at them people like they crazy. What y'all talking about? Bouda, gonna, trying to, man, would y'all stop the play? Ooh, play. He's not saying that it is a physical play as in theater play, or to press play on the recorder. He's saying no play as in child's play. Ah, I get it. This is fascinating.
And all of these have different gradations of meaning when it comes to time. And not only does Black English have more grammatical distinctions in terms of time and aspect, but you can combine them. So You could have been gone there and you been could have gone there have different implications. Leave me a comment, by the way, if you think you can explain the difference. So what you have is a very robust grammatical
Let
system.
me say that back. Let me see if we can figure out the difference.
These niggas want to figure. They want to figure you out. They want to figure out the difference between whatever this jabroni just said. You could have been gone there versus
Could have been gone there. Okay.
Ben could have gone there.
you been could have gone there. Now, come on, my niggas. They talking about us. And since they talking about us, I think we should give our opinion. What's the difference between you could have been gone there, man? What? I gotta go to the store, man. I forgot, man. Nigga, you could have been gone to the store. You been could have gone to the store. To them, that's a difference. To us, it's the same damn thing. But they're going to make a difference because they're doctors and linguists, or they're just studying us from the outside looking in. And he's really going to try to figure out a difference. But if there was a Naga on the panel, he would have said, you niggas is crazy. That's the same damn shit.
Mike, can you tell the difference? You could have been gone there. You could have gone there.
Like, you're just saying you could have been gone there. You're just wasting time. Like, you could have been there and back.
Yeah.
You could have gone there. Like, what do you think the difference is?
I have no clue, fam.
There ain't no mother suck. There ain't no damn difference. Your people's is hijack city and you tripping.
And I think I understand the first one. You could have been gone there, so which means you should have, you could have gone there and sorted it out. The second one, could have gone there. Doesn't even make sense, like.
How can it make sense? It's the same damn thing. You could have sorted it out, or you could have already have sorted it out, or you could have sorted it out already. You could have already sorted it out, or you could have sorted out already. London bloke to the Blondine bloke. Blondine bloke to the Blondine.
Let us know in the comments, guys,
give us.
I'm out of here, man. Look, man. You want more reactions like this, sign up to the Patreon. Join our Patreon cause right now it's only $3 a month. It will eventually be $14 a month. The gematria of David is 14, so I'm going to make it the David Flame Chamber, man, where all I do is flame these hijacks and react to some stuff. If you want to join the David Flame Chamber, you better get in a $3 a month now, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to honor that, your $3-ness, you know what I'm saying? But it will go up to the 14 for the new niggas coming in to the David Flame Chamber. So if you already got in the $3, Ahab to you, but it will go up to 14. So please hit the link, join the Patreon, and watch a Naga flame these hijacks and react in real time. We out of here. We out of here, baby. I said we out of here, baby. Did you know they found cocaine? They found coca in the native land of the huge 2-3 meter high evergreen cocaine plants is the mountainous tropical forests of South America. So when they found this cocaine in the Egyptian mummies, 21st century dynasty, however, results of the analysis rocked the world. In his body, she found traces of cocaine, tobacco, hashish, coca in the Egyptian mummies. That means that Egypt is already right here in America. That means we could talk Grand Canyon, G.E. Kincaid, and all the Egyptian artifacts coming out the Grand Canyon, which is probably why over 1.2 million acres is blocked off by the BLM, Bureau of Land Management, yada, yada. 1 million acres we can't even touch in the Grand Canyon. Part of what G.E. Kincaid in the 1930s found these Egyptian bodies, mummies, everything. And apparently they had cocaine. And coca is indigenous to America. The result of Balabanova's research struck at the core belief of historical science. Therefore, they swamped Balabanova with letters. Their authors were indignant, distressed, and scoffed. All your investigations are complete nonsense because before the sailing of Columbus, it was impossible to encounter tobacco and cocaine in any country of the old world. This is the gentlest response the expert happened to read. They got mad that they connected the Egyptian, mummies with the cocaine in their bellies with the old world. How can it be with American impregnations into the bodies of Egyptians? How did they get the cocaine? The poppy grows in the old world because this is the old world. Body bag, body bag, body bag, body bag for the illusion. We out of here, boss, man. This has been your 164th installment of your Prester John investigation, man. We've been on a warpath. We've been staying on the warpath. We ain't never got off the warpath. And I appreciate all my niggas for realizing, man, that, to thrive on the warpath is to be one with the Creator so that we don't get the wrath, you know what I'm saying? That we're not against our Creator no more. That the Most High over everything, that we have received the Baruch again, that we have returned again in perpetual covenant, not perpetual slavery. And for that, we can search for HaWah and King Dawid. The Ganges is also a terrestrial paradise river. Research the Ganges in the Hindu flow. And it's all right here in 1531. I'm out of here, baby. The water my cons for surfing the wave 9 above the barrier, high up in the ether, 432 swag frequency, man. Drop Nation, we are one tribe, one vibe, and we having one rise, so we coom ShaBat. ShaBat, ShaLaWam, we coom for the eternal ShaLaWam. I said we back, man. Talking Egyptians, we talking Pharaoh. Having conquered Egypt, took from the hands of the local priests the symbols and title of Pharaoh, thus becoming the earthly embodiment of the sun god, Estebanico, Jesus. You go to church on a Sunday and worship the sun god, Khan. That is, he became the living god. In the East, they called Conqueror the father of the Khans. We just got Prester John called the Khan father. The Khan of Khans, highest, Psalms 89, highest of the kings of the earth. The father of the Khans, they said, were conquered. He conquered, this Pharaoh conquered the father of the Khans, or the Batu Khans, or Khan Batu, which became the Vatican, or the Attilia. So when they connect the Mongols to this Attilia, they're connecting it with the Vatican, which is the house of the Khan, father of the Khan, who is Prester John. El Prester One. I love y'all, man, because we did this together every step, man. To know that when we talk about Tukan, it is Vatican. When we talk Prester John, it is the King of Kings, the Rex Negus. Spiritual and secular authority. By HaWah's grace, Lord over all lords, Khan over all Khans, priest over all priests, only beneath heaven, only beneath HaWah. That's why you search for HaWah and Kadawi. Firstborn bond. Forever will I keep for him my mercy, and my covenant shall stand fast with him. And his seed will I make to endure forever, and his throne as the days of heaven. But if his children forsake my law, and walk not in my ordinances, if they profane my statutes, and keep not my commandments, then will I visit their transgression with the rod, and their iniquity with strokes. But my mercy will I not break off from him, nor will I be false to my faithfulness. My covenant will I not profane, nor alter that which is gone out of my lips. Once have I sworn by my holiness, surely I will not be false unto David. His seed shall endure forever, not in forever slavery, but in forever ShaLaWam, and his throne as the sun before me. It shall be established forever as the moon, and be steadfast as the witness in the sky. Who, it's Prester John. The water for tuning in, man. We did it again, man. Keep the water flowing, keep the fire burning, and keep the code. HaWah. Wow.